Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. What just broke? Something just broke in the studio in the first 5 seconds. That's a bad sign for this show.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. It was off that thing.
This episode is cursed.
No, it's not.
Do not listen to this episode. I'm begging you. It's like The Ring.
So as I was saying, I think Big T could actually possibly become president one day.
He's got
Out of everybody in this room,
I don't want the job.
well, yeah,
That's why you need to
that's
do
why
it.
you should be president. You're like Batman. You're a reluctant hero. The Dark Knight.
PFT and I are on camera doing drugs twice.
Well, the second time was just cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
And it was civil disobedience. We were protesting an unjust law in Qatar. But yeah, I think, Donnie, you've done a lot of borderline stuff, shall we say, that's well documented. Mm-hmm. I also have done and said a lot of borderline, sometimes crossing the line stuff, well documented. Billy, probably you're also out. Just not because you've done anything bad, just because your opinions suck. Avery, I don't think that you've done anything.
No, Avery has no exclusionary traits.
His last name sounds Russian. Yeah. Are you Russian? Ukrainian?
Are my mics off because Donnie's here?
Okay.
Sorry, Donnie's in the studio.
Tell me, and then I'll tell the audience.
Well, that'll get you on the Democratic ticket.
Russian and Polish.
Russian and Polish. Okay. Mad Dog probably is. Well, she's a woman. We're never going to elect a woman.
That's
president,
my downfall in a lot of ways.
I think for the most part, Big T might be the best candidate in this room. I could see like you put a nice like medium blue suit and red tie on Big T.
Mm-hmm. I can see Big T as seersucker.
The reason I say that is because he's been on a podcast, and in the future, social media influencers, quote unquote, will, be a lot of well-known regular day people. Like they'll be more like accepting as a job, and Big T will be on tape, like spouting, conservative ideals for the past, since this podcast started.
Big T will have had a long track record of being on a podcast, but all the clips are of him just being like, this podcast is so stupid. And I think that people would vote for that. Because people hate podcasts unless it's the one that they listen to.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Like,
I hate a lot of the ones I listen to.
What's your least favorite podcast that you love?
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus and say I hate them.
They might fire back.
Mean Girl?
You couldn't pay me to listen to that. I just genuinely dislike that. I dislike that so much I wouldn't listen to it.
I'll pay you $500 to listen to Mean Girl.
Okay, deal.
Well, then you just backtracked on your deal.
Well,
this
I'm
is
getting
bad
paid.
for your political
You just said you couldn't pay me to listen to that.
And then you named a price I couldn't refuse.
You're a flip flopper. You're John Kerry.
Actually, now
Stop.
corporate interest. Corporate interest might totally sway you if you took office.
I would much rather
yeah.
vote for someone where like all of the wild shit they've done is out in the open on camera than vote for someone who you find out 10 years later fucked a pig in college as like a fraternity person.
I mean, pretty soon that's just going to be everyone.
Yeah.
Like in 20 years, every presidential candidate will have had stuff on the internet from when they were like maybe 30 or 40, because I'm assuming they're on the younger side, but like stuff from when they were in high school and college.
Majorie Green would have definitely had an OnlyFans.
What did you call it?
Say that again?
I don't even know.
Majorie? I kind of thought that was her name too. Wait.
Marjorie?
Yeah. It's a pretty common
Marjorie
name.
Green Taylor. You
Marjorie
didn't say her last name.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Or Taylor Green.
She's
Major
a Democratic plant from Georgia's, I forget what district, but
No, but I absolutely believe that Snapchat and whoever owns all this data is totally just waiting to use it to blackmail political figures.
Yeah. I mean, some internet companies have all of our search history.
Oh, 100%.
I wouldn't mind my
And their
search.
Snapchats.
I think my search history getting leaked would be fine, actually.
Who?
I don't think there's anything weird. I mean, there's definitely a lot of weird stuff on mine, but I can explain all the weird stuff through the course of my job.
What about your porn history though? Would you?
I think my porn history is relatively sterile.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's non-existent, but I think I'm a pretty normal guy.
what's your favorite
right.
search?
My favorite search?
Yeah.
Jack off instructions. No,
You and Avery.
I don't know that I have a favorite search. I mean, I just I open up a Word doc and I write boobs on it. And then
www.creedthoughts.
no, I just look at the word boobs and then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those.
Take out a calculator.
Oh God,
58,008.
Yeah.
Turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that dude from my hometown who murdered his wife? And
Yes.
then his search history was like how to get rid of a 116-pound female body.
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't know that's where you were from.
How to get blood like off of your pants, and just everything he searched on Google was just explaining the whole crime.
Can we read his search history?
I actually read it. If you listen to our extra dose that was released on Sunday, we read the whole search
I was
history.
watching
No,
football.
Billy read it and I listened.
Have you not heard them, PFT?
I have not heard all of them. No.
Oh,
I you know what? I did see the video of Mad Dog reacting to it, where it like zoomed in on her face, and
Yes.
she was just like, "What am I doing?"
And taken out of context, I was reading someone else's search history,
yeah.
and it was very out of context, and it seemed like it was my search history.
So yeah, can you read them for me?
Yeah.
This is like they did those commercials a long time ago, or maybe just a couple years. I think it was for Google Chrome, and it was just trying to tell a story with search history. And I think it was telling the story of a guy meeting a girl. They fall in love. He buys her flowers. He looks up a wedding ring. He looks up like baby registries. They buy a house.
Oh,
but it's
yes.
all told through the story of typing stuff into Google Chrome. They should make a Google Chrome commercial.
It's really
About
freaking
this guy.
hilarious. Let me find the exact link.
Is it hilarious?
It's not
not
hilarious.
funny.
Billy said it was
It's not funny,
hilarious.
sorry, but it's hilarious. Okay,
And for the record, I'm from a very safe town. This was probably the first
shocking
murder.
This
is
guy-
the word I'd use, not
Okay.
hilarious.
this guy was a
long time.
scumbag, long-time scumbag.
Did you know the guy, Donnie?
I didn't, and no one from my town knew him either. I guess they had only moved here, like a few years ago, and didn't really have a social circle in town.
Yeah.
But he was diagnosed. His dad diagnosed him as a sociopath when he was maybe 22, and wrote him out of his will because his dad lent him $500K to buy a house, and he goes, "When you sell the house, you keep the profit and give me back the $500K." And his son just kept it all, and so his dad wrote him out of his will. And a few months before he murdered his wife, he was caught selling fake Warhol paintings.
Yeah,
So this guy just seems to
What a monster.
yeah, well, he just seems to be diagnosed as a sociopath at the age of 22. Like,
Yeah.
you're heading down a dark path.
That's pretty
So
bad.
here's the search history. I got
What
it.
was the fake Warhol painting?
the fake
It was
Warhol
like a
paintings.
bunch of Progresso soups, not Campbell's.
I think maybe he bought a real one and then promised to sell it to someone else, and then kept the real one, sold him a fake version. Which I wonder if that happens a lot.
He's a scam artist
He's a scam artist
And a
turned
murderer.
turned murderer.
and a real artist if he was making.
They still haven't
Fake
found
paintings.
the body though. So Billy, if me and you want to go diving around my hometown again,
man.
put the helmets back on.
So what? Yeah, tell me this guy's search. So he got arrested, right? He's
Right.
currently in prison.
He's being held.
Basically, woman leaves the airport she has an apartment in Washington, D.C., presumably might be having an affair there, is what's thought, like a whole different life. That was New Year's Eve, never makes it on the plane. New Year's Day, 3 days later, reported missing. They figure out she never got on the plane, never went to Washington, D.C., so she must have still been in or around her house where she left. 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, a couple hours after she was supposed to have left for the airport, Brian Walsh Googled, "How long before a body starts to smell?"
Okay,
I assume maybe 2 hours.
4:58
I think
a.m.
it's longer than that. It depends on the temperature.
Yes.
If it's below freezing, probably
A
a
while.
long time, like maybe never.
My friends found a frozen dead body in China, and it was just in this abandoned house. They alerted the authorities, and they became like heroes of that town. They were like, "Wow, you found a dead body! Congratulations!" And they like threw them a party.
Great job.
Yeah.
It's been my dream to be the guy at the start of a Law and Order episode that finds a body. You know, the guy
Yeah.
that's on screen for like maybe 10 seconds,
Yeah.
jogger, like walking home from a service industry job or whatever, middle of the night, you go behind a dumpster to take a leak. Oh my God, there's a dead body there. In fact, I shouldn't say this out loud. I'm planning on auditioning for Law and Order, just for that particular role. I think me and Big Cat are going to try to do something.
But do you think if you found a dead body in real life, that would like traumatize you a bit, and like it would sort of ruin your month?
Yeah, at least the weekend.
Okay, yeah.
It depends on who the dead body was too, I think. But
depends if they were brutally murdered too. Like if you found some dude who had just had his like head chopped off.
I saw
rough.
I saw a car crash on Grit Week that was really bad. I don't know how you guys missed it. It was on the way from Buffalo to Indianapolis? No, Pittsburgh. Where did we go after Pittsburgh?
it's like years ago, huh?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, it was really bad. It was a Tesla crash, and
Autopilot.
I don't want to describe what I saw, but it literally looked like a zombie in the middle of the road because this body had been launched.
Oh,
Like road rash all over it.
I'm trying to think if I don't know that I've ever seen a dead body. I have. Yeah, I have relatives.
Not at
like
wakes
at a
don't
funeral.
count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wakes don't count. It's got to be in the wild.
It's got wakes because they make it, they dress it up.
Yeah.
Literally.
I've never seen a
Still not good though.
No, I mean, like, I've seen a body like right after a relative has passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a super dark story, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna get
I mean, we're already into the dark.
Yeah. Can we play some happy music behind this while Donnie tells his dark story?
That's pretty sick.
for people that are listening.
that's
to it.
worse.
Is it?
I mean,
feels like you're making light of it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was in the Philippines walking down the beach, had just gone to a cockfight. I was a little drunk, and then I see all these people looking out into the ocean, and like everyone's staring like, what are you guys looking at? And they're like, they can't find someone. Haven't been able to find him for 15 minutes. And so there were a couple people in the water searching. I went in to help, and I end up finding the body and have to carry him out of the water, and he was dead. And like, I tried giving CPR. I did take training back in the day, but he was dead at that point. And like, it took like, I was the only one really helping after I dragged it out. Like I dragged him out, and it took maybe like 5-10 minutes for the ambulance to arrive.
Holy fuck. That's
How old were you?
Yeah. This was probably like 2 years after college.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's intense.
That moment.
Very intense.
Holy shit.
It was a Korean kid who I guess was just like swimming with his friends, but didn't really know how to swim.
Should we
Did
dive?
they throw you a party?
They did not throw me a party, but I went back to that same town in the Philippines, and like I was sharing the story to someone, and they're like, "Oh, we heard about that story when we heard there was only like one foreigner who was trying to help." So at least they remembered me.
That must be so scary because you take CPR classes, right? And how many people here like took a lifeguard CPR class or?
Yeah,
I've taken a CPR.
that's
class
when I did it. Like
That yeah.
in high school when I was trying to become a lifeguard.
So I took was not now, but I had a CPR certification, was a lifeguard. The fact that like you pull them out in the beach and you're in such a foreign place and had to like pull on that however long class you took and try to really have an action and like and there was literally wow.
Like he had been underwater for a while, so I think even if my CPR was perfect, I don't think I could have saved him. Like it would have been a lot worse if like, oh, he had like just swallowed water, and if I fucked up the CPR, like it would be on me. That would be really hard to swallow.
That'll really ruin a post cockfight buzz that you got going.
Yeah, I was just walking down the beach like not a care in the world, drinking a rum drink, and then all of a sudden I'm doing that.
Whoa.
Because when I was a lifeguard, I was thinking if I ever did have to do CPR, like I would probably only be doing it for about 10 minutes before the police came.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Well, Donnie, thank you for finding
Yeah.
the body.
So at 4:58 a.m. on January 1st, the next search was how to stop a body from decomposing.
Okay.
5:20 a.m. January 1st, how to embalm a body.
This guy was. This guy isn't very smart, is he?
No, this is the fun. Some of these get like ridiculously funny that it's like, what the fuck?
If you search these three in a row, do we believe that goes somewhere? Is there some like
Yeah.
computer program,
Yeah.
the Patriot Act, whatever the PRISM system that Obama set up was. Is this going somewhere? Like, is this being sent to the NSA?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, listen, I'm a big personal liberty guy, but I think in this succession of Google searches, someone should probably be aware of this, right?
Yeah. Because if it's just one, it could be like a random curious person. But like 3 or 4 of those in a row, then it's like, okay, this guy has a body.
The thing is, I don't understand how you go, like, let's say you really want to murder someone. How do you not, like, this was definitely premeditated. He chose an exact time that no one would notice her missing for a long time, right before she got on a plane to Washington, D.C. on New Year's Eve, and then was supposed to return. So he had planned to murder somebody. How did he not plan the disposal?
He should have done these Google
Yeah.
searches like a week
He
ago.
seems like not a
Or-
very bright guy.
No.
Also, so then he goes, 10 ways. This is like the desperation in this Google search is ridiculous.
It's got to be tough to be a dumb sociopath, too. You always hear
Yeah.
about sociopaths being like so intelligent, like geniuses. They outsmart everybody, and they're like, man, if they could only just use
Yeah, this
that
guy's
brain for good. This guy's the dumbest sociopath of all
selling
time. Like,
fake Warhols.
it's a tough world. It's a tough life if you're stupid and you're a narcissist.
So this one's ridiculous, this Google search. 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to.
That sounds like it was an autofill. I'm gonna stand up for this guy on that one. I
Should
think
I
that
search that right now?
I
Yeah.
think
See
that
if it is-
I
Let's see if
think
there's
that
an
one was an
autofills.
autocomplete.
Maybe he was looking for an article he'd seen earlier.
Is that a BuzzFeed list?
Yeah. Then, so, about an hour has passed since his first Google search.
One wood chipper.
6:25 a.m. How long for someone to be missing to inherit?
Okay.
6:34 a.m. Can you throw away body parts?
This guy wanted to get caught. Now I'm just convinced he was doing it as like a bit, knowing that we would find his Google search
Feels
history.
like, do you really need to Google that? Like, what other choice do you have?
That's what I'm saying.
If it said no, what are you left with?
Yeah.
He was either fucked up, like on something, maybe just really dumb, or he was doing this as a bit, knowing that he was like, I really want to get on macrodosing one day. By the way, if you're a killer out there, if you're a murderer, stop listening to this show. I don't want you. I don't want your ears.
What if it was a murderer like in jail, in prison? Would you guys have him on the pod?
Killing other murderers? Or what do you mean? Like,
only if
there
you
was
kill
somebody in
another
prison?
murderer.
If there was someone in prison who murdered someone 10 years ago and he wanted to come on the pod and discuss and he showed remorse for the murder.
Yeah, I mean, Big T's, he's got a standing invite for Scott Peterson to come on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Scott Peterson had reasonable doubt that he was guilty.
Right.
I'm only crimes of passion. If you murder in a crime of passion,
What do you mean crime of passion?
like when you get angry at someone and kill them,
Then you're okay with that?
or just like if it's like a old Western style murder, you know what I'm saying?
If you had a shootout outside a saloon,
Yeah.
then you're welcome to come on the show.
Call-
Okay,
you know-
but a crime of passion would be like every time a husband murders his wife.
Oh
So-
fuck! I used
Do
the
you,
wrong
think,
one.
do you think we could get Scott on?
Maybe.
That's your goat.
This is
It's my white whale.
like cereal.
Wait, I don't
You're
mean crime of passion.
you're gonna be like
Where
Sarah
did he kill
Koenig.
his wife?
He
were
is
they?
alleged to have, I think, just in their house.
Okay.
Well, they
No, he
found
dumped
her.
her on the
They
boat.
found her in the San Francisco Bay,
All right.
or somewhere in Northern California, I believe, the San Francisco. Bay.
I literally believe that not only did he kill the woman, his wife, but also the other woman that people were trying to say that like it could have been someone else because they probably killed that other woman the same way. I think he killed her too, like the random woman
Well,
that they
that
found
doesn't
washed
make
up in the
sense.
same place.
Having to get rid of a dead body would be the most extreme anxiety I think a
Oh,
person could have.
I would
Like-
never want to be in that situation. I'd literally
That's
it would
like
not be worth it at all,
Thank
no matter
you for
what.
clarifying.
Unless
Like,
it's a crime of
I
passion.
tweak out. I tweak out
Unless you
when
got
I'm
really
late.
mad.
Yeah. That's Billy's exception from murder should always be illegal, except if you're like fucking pissed.
No. Call me old fashioned. I just like classic murder, like classic shootout murder.
Billy wants to bring back
Like-
duels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
if
okay
you
with
if you
that.
kill someone in duel, that means like that's
consensual.
consenting adults.
Yeah.
So if it's two people in a fight of sorts and someone dies, that's the price you pay for getting in a fight.
No,
it's
I don't actually. Murder's bad.
If it's a mutual combat state,
Gang.
Yeah.
the state of Washington,
yeah.
you can challenge somebody to a fight in Washington. You guys can meet up, fight on the streets, and there's nothing the cops can do.
I think Texas has a similar rule, but you can't use weapons, and you can't go over.
I don't know that. I don't think you're allowed to shoot somebody in Washington either.
Texas mutual combat state.
You allowed to use a bat?
I think like the rule is literally you can't hit them once they go to the floor.
Okay.
Someone is charged with assault can point to the victim's consent to fight as a defense if the altercation does not cause serious bodily injury or threaten to cause injury. So that's the law behind Texas mutual combat.
Okay, so you can fight, just show up, and it's like just as long as everyone gets home for dinner.
Hockey rules.
Yeah, got it.
Once they go to the floor, it's done.
A state-sponsored referee shows up to watch the fight, make sure that everything's fine.
So
In conclusion, we would get Scott Peterson on the show.
I'm
Right, Big T?
gonna look into this.
by the way, this guy totally dismembered the body, put it in various different containers, and dropped it off on various different places around Cohasset. That's my theory.
That's your theory.
How would you get rid of a body?
I don't even want to think about it.
Donnie's right. It would suck to have to just like, what if you woke up and there was just a body in your house?
There's so much blood that comes out and just it's so large, and you got to chop it up with like a saw.
I think you got to go Breaking Bad style, acid.
Well,
Yeah, but
who are some other people that were killed and never found? Like
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa, because it seems like you would think, oh, just throw it in the ocean and it's gone. But every time someone does that, it washes back up to shore. I feel like that happens all the time.
Yeah, no,
Someone
I mean,
tries to just throw it in the ocean.
I mean, logistically, you need know a concrete layer, and you throw it in the rebar before they pour the concrete. That's usually early in the morning, so it can have the whole day to dry. That's why they pour concrete in the morning.
You've
So
really thought about this.
When I auditioned for macrodosing, I thought of my plan to bury a dead body. You
What
guys
was
asked
it?
me that question. That was like a question I was asked.
What was your answer?
You get concrete slabs, or what's the fucking, like the
oh, I know what you're talking about.
concrete bricks.
Yeah.
Tie them to the ankles and
Cinder
you take
blocks.
them to a golf course pond.
Okay, yeah.
Because by the time that whoever is cleaning out the golf course pond, you could get out
Actually,
of there. And they only clean them once every like 2 or 3 years.
No,
so
look-
by that time, you're also like, your DNA is probably off that body.
I-
That body is nothing but bone.
Mad Dog, I have to attest to that as someone who used to dive in the body's waters around golf courses and pick up balls and then sell them back to the course.
That was you.
Tons of people do that. It was a very easy summer job. You could sell I remember.
Each ball is worth about $1.
Yeah. And they just have to wash
I
them.
didn't know that was a summer job. That was
Yeah, dude. You
people
could literally go jump in right after practice or school, and then you go dive, pick up about 50.
And also
Balls.
see some bonus frogs when you're down there.
or bonus dead bodies.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably find a dead body.
This goes back to the theory that I have where it's if you know the person that you're murdering, it's impossible to get away with murder.
Yeah.
I think people get away with murder because the clearance rate is 50%. If it's a stranger, you can I think there's a way to get away with it. If you don't know the person, or if it's gang related, then you can maybe get away with it.
Not really.
Was
But
that
no,
you?
you can,
Was
but-
that you guessing, or is that a real statistic?
I think somebody sent me.
You might be getting
an
mixed up with
FBI
bank
study.
robbing.
No, that's a
No,
different.
That can't be that high.
What?
That 50% of people get away with murder?
50% of murders go unsolved.
Well, that's because people don't care.
Sometimes you don't find it. Yeah,
No,
they
but-
don't identify the body.
I know it's terrible, but in a lot of those gang-related murders, they don't even try to pursue.
Yeah.
Because that murderer gets murdered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no. If it's gang related, sometimes you'll have a hard time identifying who the body is. Nobody will talk to you, and then you don't have any evidence, and then the cops are just well, it's a gang member shooting a gang member, and they just won't pursue it as hard as they would.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know the person, if you have a relationship, a friendship,
If you're the
spouse,
husband,
yeah, if you're the husband, if you're the wife,
If your wife dies, like
You did it.
everyone on the planet is going to assume you did it,
Yeah.
which sucks because sometimes I'm sure wives die randomly.
Yeah.
Even this Kober guy, we used to think he was trying to pull off the perfect crime, but he ended up new stuff that came out. Go listen to the extra dose because if you did, you're probably hearing a lot of repeat information. But it turns out he did have contact with the girls. That he went to the restaurant they frequented, and he DM'd one of the girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a pretty normal DM. It was just hey.
He just hate her?
Yeah, so if there's a dude in your DMs giving a basic ass response, literally could
Watch
be a
out.
serial killer.
Watch out.
You're right. It's about 54%, and that's only that get arrested, not even convicted.
That's crazy to me. 54%
That's insane.
Get
That was-
arrested.
That was 2020.
because I've always just thought that you can't get away with murder.
Well, the majority of gun violence crimes occur in the of those murders occur in the gang related sector.
Yeah.
So in the reason why a lot of people don't get arrested is because they end up dead very soon after.
Yeah.
It's literally
Well, that's it's disconcerting. So I guess the moral is if you're going to kill somebody, join a gang. If you're going to be a murderer, you might as well join a gang to do it.
Yeah.
but then you end up dead.
Do what you love for a living. Never work a day in your life.
There was a Russian dude who used to literally, and the only reason he got caught is because he wanted to get caught. He was a psychologist, and he just murdered random people just out of nowhere because he wanted to see to be unsolvable. It's he did it with an axe.
Yeah. Actually, I just had an idea. So if you're listening to this and it's Thursday, if the show just came out, we have a live show tonight, Thursday, January 26th at the Sony Hall. Still have some tickets available. Donnie's going to be joining us there. We'll bring him out for a segment. Him and Billy have something major planned for tomorrow. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of stuff. There'll be the lib detector test. I'm going to attempt Freebird, the entire Freebird solo in its entirety for the first time in my life. I've never done it before all the way through, and I'm probably going to screw some of it up, but this is probably going to be the only time. I've been practicing it for about a year and a half. It's been my white whale to try to figure this thing out, and I've gotten most of the way there. I'll give it a shot. But in addition to that, we should plan out the perfect crime during our live show, but not a murder.
No.
How about a bank robbery?
Crypto fraud?
I would like to plan a bank robbery
Yes.
at
Yes.
at tonight's show. Are you guys in? I've got some ideas.
Do a lot of bank robbers get away with it these days?
I think it's
Surprisingly.
50% get away.
For bank robberies too.
What if we planned a bank robbery and while we were doing it, we robbed the Sony Hall, and the entire time we were burrowing in
Oh,
underground
shit.
into their safe,
Dude. Honestly,
and then stealing all the money that they were going to pay us for the show.
Yeah.
Anyways,
bank robbing's low-key pretty easy because the insurance, the banks have bank robbery insurance. They don't even really care anymore.
Yeah, they're just
They're just
all right.
here's the money. People, the armed guards, there's no more armed guards anymore.
they definitely have armed guards.
Only when
Where's
with the
that? You
guard
don't go to a bank, Billy. You hate cash.
I've been to a bank recently.
They have armed guards in banks.
Not every bank.
Not not everybody.
Well, it's always a 70-year-old dude. I mean, they're not stopping.
I don't
you.
think they're armed.
I've definitely seen armed.
Most of the time.
Maybe not in New York City. I don't
A
know.
lot of banks don't.
Yeah,
it's,
they
it's
can't.
mainly when they just have the truck out front that they're
The
transporting.
Garda armored cars are definitely, because that's a little, there's still that highway mentality that I mean we've all seen The Town.
I like the highway mentality though.
Highwayman mentality. That's
Yeah.
that's like the old West.
Yeah. So if you
There's some honor in that.
there was a guy that robbed an armored car in Brooklyn, I think a couple weeks ago, but he didn't stick it up or anything. His buddies were making a diversion, and then he just rolled to the back and grabbed the duffel bag and ran away.
Yeah, I saw that. And the guy who was in on it, he was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be guarding the back of the truck. I'm going to go back into the passenger seat and just play on my phone."
Yeah,
And then the guy just grabbed it.
I would love. I mean, if I walk past, I'm for the most part a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah.
But if I walked past an armored car and the back was open with the duffel bag hanging out of it, I'm going to have a significant urge to just run, grab that thing, and dip out. I'm gonna think about it.
We're some major cucks right now.
I mean,
We're just like fantasizing about other men committing crimes.
tell me you wouldn't consider that
Not up for shut up.
if you saw the bag.
Billy is
I don't
advocating right
consider-
now like
I
we
mean-
should just go do these crimes.
Yeah, we're talking about it. We're having a thought experiment. Billy's getting worked up. You are in a lather right now.
There was a Vice employee who was caught like running this cocaine ring, and it was kind of just because he like wanted to feel cool, like, and tell people I'm running a cocaine ring.
Yeah.
So he would find some of the interns at the company. So this would be like when you were working here as an intern, and I was just like, hey, I need you to bring some cocaine to Asia. Like, I think he would like send the interns. I don't know where. Yeah, he would send them to Asia, and then they would hand it off. And he was caught, and he was like, he kind of sounded proud. He was like, I just wanted to live my life like a Future song or something like that.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people use the Uber messenger service to deliver drugs.
Yeah, you just put it in an envelope, right?
Yeah, you just
They
don't.
don't look in there.
Why were those interns doing that?
Because they're just following orders.
Because he was probably like, you'll be cool and probably get a job here.
You're risking years in prison to work at Vice?
Let me ask you this, Big T. If I don't know, like 6 years ago,
Absolutely not.
do you know what I'm going to say?
No, I think so, but continue.
6 years ago, Dave Portnoy comes to you. He's like, hey, I liked your Harambe song.
He did.
Yeah, he did. I want to hire you full time. Here's a manila envelope. I just need you to run this over to Thailand for me. I'll pay for your plane ticket, set you up in a 5-star hotel, and then when you come back, you got a job for life.
No.
You'd say no?
No. I knew I had I could do that anyway.
Yeah, your song was good enough.
Yeah.
You didn't need to run drugs. I can see how like an intern would get talked into it, especially if like back in the day. This is probably what, Donnie, 2015, 2014,
so.
back when Vice was looked at as being like a counterculture rebel type site. A lot of people wanted to work there because it's like you get paid to travel and do gritty stuff. It seems like a dream job. I could see somebody getting talked into that, especially a younger kid.
Is it worth going to prison?
No, I mean obviously not.
They didn't plan to go to prison.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't.
And I
You have
think
to think of the consequences before you.
Yeah, and I don't think his mules ended up having to do much time because they just like realized that it was this dude coaxing them into doing it.
Yeah.
But it would be fun for all of us to like drive across country with a kilo of cocaine in the back and have a competition to see who couldn't get caught.
Would it be illegal if you just taped like a kilo of baking soda to the underside of like the hood of your car, and then you just drove that across country?
Yeah,
They
I've always
test
thought
it.
about that. Like if you were walking through the airport security and just like had some really suspiciously wrapped bags of powder.
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh fuck, they throw you in the back room, and then they're like, dude, this is
Actually,
100%
that
baking
kinda-
powder.
that kind of happened to me once.
Like I don't know if you would still get in
I-
trouble.
I had protein powder in a bag.
Yeah.
And they took it out. Did they have to test it?
Was it up your ass or?
No, I had just had a bag of so it was like I was going to a quarterback clinic, and it was like I really wanted to go, and it was like this was when I was like super hardo.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a long time ago.
But like I would literally just consume multiple protein shakes a day.
yeah,
so I would just bring it.
and you're not really into protein anymore.
I'm not. I think it's stupid. I think mass is mass.
Okay.
So like
I
Hank,
think Newton said that.
Hank drinks protein powder, but he has like enough mass. So like, why are you adding to the mass when you have the mass?
Now he just needs to sculpt. the
Yeah,
mass.
he's a sculpt. Why are you adding? You need to be subtracting and sculpting.
Okay. All right. This is not.
yeah.
We're going after Hank here, but tell me more about you trying to smuggle protein powder
yeah.
through an airport.
Yeah. So then, literally, they stopped my bag, searched it, and they're like, they opened it up, and it was like you could definitely tell once you opened up the bag, it was brown chocolate, like protein powder. And like, they're like, we're going to have to test this. And they do the thing and they like swab stuff. Right. and then they just let me on my way.
Wait, so it was brown.
Yeah,
But it wasn't even like
but
white
if you're
powder.
But if you're looking through the machine,
you just see powder.
you
Yeah.
just see a bag of powder.
When I moved to New York, my mom gave me a giant Ziploc bag full of quarters to go to a laundromat to do my laundry. And so my backpack went through the scanner at the airport, and they take it off into the thing to look at it. I'm like, what are they doing? And they brought over like 4 or 5 guys. And they come over like, what do you have in this bag? And I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we know there's something in here. And I was like, I have nothing that should be this much of concern. And so they opened it up and saw the giant bag of quarters, and they go, what is this for? I was like, well, I'm moving to New York. It's to do laundry. And they're like, oh, okay. Apparently on the thing, they just see something relatively the size of a firearm, and it just shows up. They can just see that it's metal. And about the size of what a firearm would
Or
be.
looks like a nail bomb. Kinda.
Yeah.
And so that's why they were concerned.
When we were heading back from Denver, I had all of those mushroom tinctures from Jake the Snake,
Yeah.
Jake Plummer. And I was like, are these the right size? Because I literally, if they weren't, I was going to try to figure out, because it was really, good mushroom tincture. And I was like, can I take these on? And they're like looking at them because they thought they were marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And they just give you the swipe, like wipe your hands, wipe your phone.
Yeah.
I thought that swipe was more to tell if it's a bomb or if it's an explosive.
I think it also
Those can-
detects drugs.
Okay.
I know that, Donnie, sometimes they test for formaldehyde because that's one of the chemicals in bomb making.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you have a stuffed animal, like a brand new stuffed animal, maybe it's a cheap one, the chemicals that they use to make the animal are still present on like the fur on the outside of it.
Okay.
And so sometimes like a pillow or a stuffed animal will set off like a bomb detection thing. And then they have to swipe your hands and figure out.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever gotten caught with like a lookalike drug. I know that you're not allowed to, if you were to tape a kilo of baking powder to your car, you wouldn't be allowed to try to get people to buy that from you,
No.
telling them it was coke, because then it's like a lookalike and it's prosecuted probably in the same way as the actual drug. But if you just tape it there and you don't say anything about it and you're just minding your own business, driving across country with a kilo of baking powder, I don't know that that's illegal.
That's got to be obstructing justice. I'd say they'd probably be like, we're looking for people with actual drugs, and you purposely try to deceive us, and you're preventing us from getting real criminals. Just like if someone was getting arrested on the street, and you like you see these videos now of like police arresting people, then like bystanders be like, get off him. Like,
Yeah.
that's like, you can't, that's police brutality.
You get charged with wasting a cop's time.
Well, yeah, but I think it's obstructing justice.
I think if they found the kilo and you said immediately, that's a kilo of baking powder, sir, no need to waste your time here. Are you then wasting their time?
Well, actually, what happened when the Nelk boys did that Coke prank where they said they have all the Coke in the trunk and it was just a bunch of cans of Coke? And they started acting all
They
nervous?
filmed that in Colombia. I know they did one in Colombia.
That's stupid.
They had tons of Coca-Cola in the back, and they were just walking around one of the most crowded plazas there, asking everybody, do you want Coke? Do you want Coke? Do you want some Coke? And yeah, the cops came over. The cops were pissed. I think they were maybe brought to the station, but like not officially arrested or anything like that. I mean, doing that in the U.S. could be kind of funny, but doing that in Colombia is insane.
Yeah. I think that we should do that at Barstool. There should be Macrodosing Amazing Race, and you have to transport a big bag of powder. Just call it like the Barstool powder.
Oh, no, this is
What? What, Billy?
I don't want to waste police time.
We're not wasting police time. We're talking about doing an Amazing Race show.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you've got 3 kilos of 3 brick by bricks of powder. You have to get it from New York to San Diego or Juarez.
I think we could do that.
Juarez.
Juarez,
Dude,
yeah, you should have to cross the border.
You have to cross the border with the ultimate goal.
Dude, yeah.
yeah.
we went from
No one's smuggling coke into Mexico.
No.
They probably
Guns,
don't even
though.
check.
guns though.
Yeah.
I know
Thanks,
someone
Obama.
who brought like a small bag to Mexico.
Is he in this room right now with us?
No. It was not me. No.
Your
I
good
know
friend.
someone who did. I had no idea he was doing it, but he was going to a bachelor party and just like put it in the cooler with all the drinks, and they drove to Mexico from San Diego.
I had a buddy who was like driving his boss to the airport, and his boss was about to get on the plane, and he just goes, "Oh shit, here, I need you to take this," and just hands the kid. He works on Wall Street, just like a fucking huge bag of cocaine. And he was like, "You can keep it."
Sounds like a Wall Street thing to
What a
happen.
nice boss.
White Sox Dave, we recently went to the Dominican Republic, and it was his first time leaving the country, and he just brought like a big bag of 3 chi, which I bring 3 chi wherever I'm going around the U.S.
Yeah.
I've never really brought that out of the country because I think that's a gray zone. I think it's technically illegal in a lot of foreign countries.
Yeah, I mean, like, good luck explaining to Dominican federales that, no, this is actually Delta 8.
Yeah, and like he took that out, and I like, especially his first time leaving the country, I thought he'd be super nervous, and I was like, dude, you brought that? And he was like, oh, I didn't even think it'd be an issue. But I mean, I haven't looked it up. I assume Delta 8 is illegal in the DR.
Oh, you know what else, Don? You know how you can bribe most, like when people get in trouble in like South American countries, they think they can definitely bribe the police.
Yeah.
Turns out Chile, and like Chile is like, if you try to bribe the police, they're throwing you in prison hard. I saw a viral video recently of a guy trying to bribe the Chilean police, and he just got booked so hard.
Oh, okay.
Maybe if you're not good at it.
No, like they take like they think it is like, oh, like that's their neighboring country, like they're all about bribery, like we don't accept bribery because it's so rampant. There's like I know Chile and I think Paraguay might where they're just like, we don't stand for that shit, like that's like Argentina, we don't put up with that shit.
And Colombia
Colombia's
is
big.
known for bribes because that's how, I guess, a lot of the police officers make most of their money just by bribing tourists and saying, if you don't give me the bribe, you're going to do 4 years in jail. And then an American tourist is going to pay that very fast.
Yes. Yeah. Respect to Chile. I think that we should respect Chile more in general. You got to be fucking ruthless if you hang on to the land that they have. They just completely cuck Argentina out of the Pacific Ocean.
They're like Croatia,
they
South
are.
America.
Yeah. And are like Portugal to Spain.
Yeah.
Like Chile just said, oh, that's a nice Pacific Ocean you got here. Be a real shame if somebody were to just take all of it from you. Chile's like, we got the beach, you guys got everything else. And then Argentina's like, oh, that's fine. We got our cows and our wine.
And they have beaches on the other side. So they're doing okay.
Yeah, they do. They've got the Falkland Islands. Do they still, or is that England? I forget who won that war.
No. Argentina doesn't have the Falklands.
Yeah, that's a war I know nothing about.
England didn't give a fuck.
Who won that war?
England.
England did?
Yeah, they fucking
shit. Sorry,
them.
that's I didn't mean to do that to Argentinians that are listening. I just totally. I brought up the Chile thing, and then I took the Falkland Islands away from you.
England didn't give a single fuck.
It's good. It's great.
But yeah.
Where are we at on this list of Google searches?
Oh yeah. Then he goes,
wow, that far, huh?
Yeah.
It's now, we started at 4:55 a.m. and now we're at 9:29 a.m. What does formaldehyde do? 9:34, how long does DNA last? 9:59, can identification be made on partial remains? 11:34 a.m., so an hour and a bit later. Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. 11:44, how to clean blood from wooden floor. By the way, in that time frame of after Googling that, he then went to Home Depot and spent $300 on cleaning supplies.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's stupid.
He also had 3 kids at home, I think, while all this was happening.
Yeah.
Did he use like a credit card at Home Depot? Do we know that?
Yep.
Safe to assume that he did.
Well, because in an era where you can wear a mask out in public and not be looked at, like it wouldn't stand out, and you could pay with cash. Just thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
That seems pretty
So-
stupid.
It seems like it's built in.
Granted,
for
it
you.
seems like these Google searches had already done him in at that point anyway.
True. There was a coach for I forget which NCAA coach it was. It was a couple years ago. during the tournament, that the first one back after COVID, and all the coaches were wearing masks, and he was not practicing good mask safety. He would like pull his mask down as he yelled and leave it down there, which, you know, a lot of people do that. The thing was, this guy had a cold sore the size of Texas on his lip. It's like, dude, you're living in the one era where you can have a cold sore and nobody will ever know.
I mean,
just keep your mask up.
you remember Jeremy Pruitt's mask, don't you?
I do.
This?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just an all-timer.
As Billy would say, that's a baklava.
Covering every part of his head except his face.
Yeah.
Just pretty impressive.
It is.
God, what an idiot that guy was.
So it turns out luminol, I just Googled his exact Google search, luminol to detect blood. Luminol is a water-based solution capable of detecting blood. So he looked up luminol. Then
That's right. Anyone that has watched Dexter would know about that.
1:08 p.m. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? 1:21.
He's just like shotgun spraying. Listen, there are no bad ideas here. He's just like doing science experiments.
I mean, what if he's like making it look so egregious that he's trying to make the prosecution and jury like be too swayed by the media?
What if it was somebody else that did it, and he's taking the fall for him, and because this is how you would behave if you wanted to get caught and convicted, no questions asked about something, right?
Yeah, but then have a little bit of shadow of doubt and get out of it, like if you were OJ taking a fall for his son.
If he's a sociopath, though, I don't think you have that like filter in your head.
Yeah. So say if he had done a private tab or the incognito tab, I've heard that's completely fake.
Oh,
Like,
they have that for sure. That just like keeps it from like coming up on your computer.
on your computer, but Google still has all
For
that.
sure. Yeah,
In your Wi-Fi router, you can access that history.
Yeah.
I love that the incognito tab has its own logo.
Yeah.
And it's like the hat with glasses.
Yeah.
It's like that's a shady hat. You see that hat and you know that like some spy shit's going down.
It's like a bowler hat.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that.
There should have been a trench coat.
A lot of
involved.
people were pissed though. I think they were trying
There
to do
is.
like a class action lawsuit because like they
You
were
have to be dumb to think they're
led
not
to
taking that
believe
too.
that if you do incognito, then like those results don't like stay on the server. But
Yeah.
Google keeps all that.
Wait, Billy, you said that there is a trench coat?
Yeah, if you look, there's a graphic.
I'm looking at. I see the hat and the glasses.
You gotta go far.
I gotta go far
Actually, it might
deeper
have been-
incognito.
It might have been the older incognito.
Yeah.
You're actually going to want to use this thing called the dark
it
web.
Was, it was the older one.
Yeah, the older
That was the
one.
old. Yeah, that's a better logo right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that was.
You can tell
That guy's definitely like
He's like a pervert.
He looks like he's about to open his trench coat and be naked.
Yeah, they need to update the incognito logo. I think.
Just maybe put like
Some boobs.
a horny dude.
Yeah, it's really just
A picture of like a politely horny dude who just wants to like deal with his horniness.
look
and
at
be left alone.
a guy that just wants to look at regular porn.
Yeah.
Can we get Pete in here? I want to talk. I want to see if Pete can watch everything that we do.
He can't. 1:21 p.m. This is my favorite. This is my favorite Google search of all of them. 1:21 p.m. on January 1st. Is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them?
Okay. Yeah, this guy's trying to get caught.
Like, is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Like, after everything you've been looking, like, common sense, you're like wearing your favorite sweater and you don't want to like lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Like, have you ever had like a good piece of clothing that just gets egregiously dirty and you're like, can I still wear this? But you like just don't tell anybody about it and like make sure it gets washed really well, then you wear it again. But like in the back of your head, you know something incredibly dirty happened to this piece of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would ever Google like, should I wash my shirt?
Yeah.
I'm just going to Google like, do my socks smell dirty? Like,
I guess
that's a personal question.
I guess the thinking there is the cops come, you're on camera at Home Depot wearing whatever, and they're like, where are those clothes? And then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm giving this guy too much credit.
1:10 p.m. Can you be charged with murder without a body?
Yes,
so
you can.
seems like the body could be gone then.
Yeah,
You
1245.
can be convicted of murder with no physical
Hacksaw-
evidence. A couple people have had that happen.
Hacksaw, best tool to dismember. Can you identify a body with broken teeth?
Well, it sounds like he already answered his question.
Yeah.
Just confirming.
Yeah.
What happens to hair on a dead body? What is the rate of a decomposition of a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? Can baking soda make a body smell good?
So this guy's going to probably get the death penalty. Do they have it?
No, I don't think they have it in Massachusetts.
Rather than divorce, it is
Libs.
believed that Brian Walsh dismembered Anna Walsh and discarded her body. I say give this guy a good old Salem witch trial execution. I think that's probably
Yeah,
on the
that's
like.
when-
Give him don't put him to death, but give him a good old witch trial where they throw him in the water and see if
Yeah.
he floats. I think that's still on the books.
But then, then what happens?
He dies.
Witches would be
But
a
you
good,
just said don't kill him.
a good
No,
topic
just
for the
give
show.
him the trial.
Got it.
Have you guys ever done a witch episode?
No,
Because we could really dive into that.
Have we not done a Salem witch trials episode?
I don't think that we did.
I can.
We did a mass hysteria one.
yeah,
Do you want me
and-
to add
and-
Salem witch trials to this?
Wait,
Yeah.
we did say, I think Billy said,
Salem because
like-
the ergot and the rye.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could have been like they were all on LSD
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the time.
They also could have just been like loose, wild women that the Puritans were not down with.
Yeah, let's victim blame.
No, well, I'm blaming the Puritans. Like the Puritans were fucking.
No, I mean,
If you
pretty nuts. I still think witches are kind of real. Giselle being a witch
witches
makes a
are
lot of
real. Like
sense.
there's actually a lot of people out there that
Yeah.
consider themselves
Kelly
witches.
Keats.
I talked to one down in New Orleans. I think they prefer the term Wiccan these days.
Yeah.
Is that what Kelly Keegs is?
She is a witch. She practices witchcraft,
What does she do?
like spells and stuff.
Like good spells or bad spells?
I'm not. I don't know. I can ask.
Can you ask her?
Yeah, I work with her.
Can you see if she can stop in for a second?
Do you want me to go grab her?
Right now,
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go grab her.
we
Are you cool with that?
there's like a bunch of girls nowadays that practice witchcraft. I actually remember when I went to that crystal shop.
Yeah.
All sorts of witchcraft. That's like where they congregate to like figure out spells and shit, and cruxes.
Horcrux?
They do like
Horcruxes?
curses.
All right, well, we're waiting.
Hexes. They literally do hexes.
Yeah.
They're all in there on Sunday trying to hex the dude that ghosted them or
Wait,
rejected them the night before.
you go to a crystal shop on Sundays?
I was in a crystal shop on a Sunday watching a lot of angry girls who were about to just literally just whip up some magic on some poor dudes.
Why
Wait,
were you in
Yeah,
there?
you went in there to
For
just-
research?
to stare at women uncomfortably.
Try
No,
to pick up a witch?
no, I was there to reverse some curses.
Honestly?
Oh no, you know what? You know what I was actually there for? I was there to pick up a crystal for us to prevent us from killing more people on the podcast.
Well, you just told us it was to reverse some curses.
Yeah, that was the curse I was reversing.
Okay. Did
I
you
was
do
I
it?
was going in there to look something up to reverse our death curse to make some content, and that's where I found the Astrology for African American Men book.
Yeah.
Remember?
That's a funny picture that you sent.
Yeah,
Did you buy it?
I was gonna buy it for my buddy. It was too expensive.
But then you ended up just staring at women.
No, because it was literally hilarious. You'd see these girls come in, talk to the steward, like the
Yeah.
person working there, be like, I need something to curse someone who wronged me. And they're like, I know exactly what you need. And I was
Okay.
like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
You live quite a life, Billy.
When we went to a witch in New Orleans, we did something called table tipping. Everyone puts their hands on the bottom of the table, and
Yeah.
then apparently the spirits are supposed to move it. And it did not work at all. I eventually just started to lift the table up a bit because I felt bad for her that like we were getting zero out of it.
It's light as a feather, stiff as board.
Yeah, and then we used the Ouija board too, and we didn't spell out a single word. It was just random letters. We did get an FU, and then we just got gibberish.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this
She's not
has to
here?
be rough.
Jack Sick and Kelly Keegs is not here. Damn, we're 0 for 2 on guests. Oh, no, 1 for 3. Donnie came
1
through.
for 3.
Wait, we're
yes.
gonna get Jack back on here?
Oh yeah, to talk about the cloning.
And
Oh.
the bugs.
Avril Lavigne. He and I got to the bottom of Avril Lavigne a couple years ago.
Okay. Tell you what, I want to get into some of the cloning stuff. Before we do, it's brought to you by the Barstool Store. You can check out Macrodosing merch. I'm wearing my Macrodosing shirt right now. Billy's wearing the Macrodosing Yeti shirt. Pretty sick. We got some solid merch up there. Some new designs coming out for St. Patty's Day too. Check it out. Store.barstoolsports.com. Store.barstoolsports.com. Check out the Macrodosing merch. We've got Mids University collegiate gear set up. A lot of good stuff. Check it out. Wear with the pros. Wear store.barstoolsports.com. Okay, so we want to talk clones. You want to talk clones, or is there anything else? Big T, you teed off about anything? I should say Arian's not with
I
us
was just gonna
today.
say, yeah.
Arian is indisposed at the moment. He had some things pop up at the last second, so he should be here tomorrow for, I guess, later on today for the live show. But he had to bounce at the last second, so we got Donnie to sit down. Donnie, people always want more Donnie. You know that? Like, anytime you come on the show, when you leave, we get a lot of feedback that's just like, oh, Donnie's so much better than Billy. Oh, Donnie's so much better than Big T. Oh, Donnie's so much better than Mad Dog. Like, all these people are saying this, like, oh, like,
Everyone except PFT.
well, no, I didn't
What did
say
he
Avery
say?
or Arian.
Well, I don't like being compared to people on the podcast, but if someone's just like, hey, loved you on the pod, I definitely appreciate those comments.
You fucks with them.
Yeah.
Fucks with them hard-bodied karate.
I fucks with those people. I feel like a lot of what you talk about is right up my alley, so happy to contribute.
Cool. So anything we're teed off about at all, Big T?
Not that I can think of.
I
Top of my head.
I should say, a few weeks ago, I put a future. I put 2 futures in for college football next year. One, University of Tennessee.
What was the
'Cause,
other?
The other was Clemson. I like their
That's an
quarterback.
interesting pick.
I like their quarterback.
He ain't that good, brother.
Well, he doesn't have the arm as Joe.
Bazooka Joe. That's correct.
Bazooka Joe. Hell yeah. Can we get some Bazooka Joe merch for Macrodosing?
We should.
Should we ask him if he wants to be one of our athletes?
Yeah. Well, he's probably getting a bag.
It's true.
He's probably getting a bag at UT.
Well,
We should reach out.
I'll talk to some people.
We should reach out. I would love to get Bazooka Joe on the show because I'm obsessed with his arm. He's got an arm. Anybody can watch this guy play and be like, that is fun watching him throw the football.
He's the best.
Again, he threw it. What was it?
He threw an
Orange.
orange 120 yards.
The man threw an orange 120 yards. That's all you need to know about Bazooka Joe.
He
I'm such an
rocks.
idiot. I was like, Bazooka Joe. Like, wasn't there a comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they call him Bazooka Joe.
Sorry.
Is it Joe Milton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Milton's my guy.
Yep.
I'm
I think
starting.
he's 7th in Heisman odds preseason.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm very, very much late to the Bazooka Joe party because I just saw him in the Orange Bowl and was like, that I want to see more of that on my screen.
2021, he was too much of Bazooka Joe. He overthrew everybody, which is how Hendon ended up playing. So thank God he did.
Mhm.
But now he's goated.
That season was just a heat check.
Yeah, he
He's
has.
just getting warmed up.
He didn't know his own strength. He had to rein it in.
All right, so yeah, I'm in on University of Tennessee. Regrettably, I'm in on Clemson. I don't like rooting for Dabo, but value's there, so I had to take it.
Like, there should be value because they ain't that good.
I just keep expecting them to get back to the.
They don't
Clemson.
play anybody either. So
That's the thing. The ACC is the Sun Belt East is better than the ACC.
for sure.
I stand by that. So anything else we want to get into? Nick Adams' Eminem boycott has it worked. It worked. You can say whatever you want about Nick Adams, but his tirade and rampage that he's been going on against the woke M&Ms, it was a massive success. So his strategy of having a boycott where everybody goes out and buys the biggest bag of M&Ms that they can find and then smashes them ended up just pummeling the Mars Corporation into submission, where they've decided to retire all the candy spokespeople or the spokes candies. And this is in no way just a precursor for a Super Bowl ad. It's not at all tied into any larger advertisement they have going. They just bent the knee to Nick Adams.
I
So-
think I think the Tucker Carlson clip would be more for the Super Bowl commercial than Nick Adams. I don't think he's that notable.
No, Nick Adams is not. I don't want to take anything away from Nick because he's a very powerful human being and an alpha male.
Nah,
He
I'll
doesn't
take
need
him.
to tell you that he's an alpha male, and he loves Hooters. But Nick,
He hates Taylor Swift.
I want to go to Hooters with Nick Adams.
well, the point is that obviously,
yeah, I mean,
it's like, I'm trying to think of what the equivalent would be for like. I was going to like going to Hooters with John Daly,
yeah.
or going to Hooters with John Gruden.
The thing is, I'd there's certain things that like I don't care what end of the political spectrum are. Like I will do whatever the most extreme with whatever figure is.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
for the
Going to
experience.
Subway with Russell Wilson.
Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say Jared.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Oh, yes.
It's bad. It's bad at Subway where they got rid of Russell's name on the Danger Witch on the official website.
So it's just the Danger Witch.
If you go and you look at their signature sandwiches, you can get like Jimmy Garoppolo's Italian sandwich. You can get all
Steph
these
Curry.
Yeah, the Steph Curry chicken, I think maybe. And they've got all the athletes with their names next to the sandwich, and then it just says the Danger Witch. And there's
careful.
no Russ Wilson.
It's spicy.
It's spicy.
Nick Adams, just the all-time GOAT. His most recent tweet, first one, scrolled to. I don't know who Mario is, but yeah, I guess it's his buddy or something. Mario informed me there's a critical shortage of 64-ounce bone-in tomahawk ribeyes because of Biden's failing supply chain. I was hoping to have my meat worked out for Wednesday, parentheses hump day. Biden just made the mistake of getting between an alpha and his meat. This means war.
Yeah. Mario is his butcher.
Probably.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm familiar. If you're
You are?
If you're familiar with the Nick Adams lore, Mario's his butcher,
Okay.
and he likes to start his week off having another man handle his meat for him.
Yeah.
That's what he
Well,
always says.
Biden just got between him, his meat, and Mario.
By the
He's
way,
just made a very powerful enemy.
if you look at the collections of companies that are, causing some of the egg shortages and the price hikes, they're all related to the WEF.
Okay. How are they related, Billy?
Because when we did the why is eggs so expensive right now,
Yeah.
there's certain companies that have direct ties to the World
What do you mean?
Economic Forum.
What is a direct tie?
This
This is what happened when Billy makes a statement and
board
then I start
members
to pull on
the
one
board.
thread.
Board members
On what board?
on the boards of the companies who are also members of the World Economic Forum.
Okay, what does it mean to be a member of the World Economic Forum?
You just go to the goddamn thing.
And these people
Okay.
run egg farms.
They're trying to take away our eggs.
They're on boards of companies. How many board members are on the boards of these companies? Are you talking about?
Multiple,
Yeah, like
Multiple.
probably dozens of people
dozens
on these boards.
of hundreds.
Dozens of hundreds.
I don't know. I'm just something to look into.
Okay. I will say though. Well, the thing with the M&M's thing, M&M's definitely has a Super Bowl commercial coming out, and this is part of their ad campaign where they're suspending the spokes candies, and then they're going to bring them back in some big thing that happens on the Super Bowl.
and like Maya Rudolph's gonna be in it somehow.
Yeah, she's involved.
Green M&M's got her boots back.
Get the boots back. Show. There's this guy that does very funny songs, Nick Lutzko. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Don't think so.
He's a great songwriter. Writes like super. You can tell that. I don't know what his background is, but he's a trained musician and a trained songwriter, and he does like these parody songs, and he's put out like full albums. He just put out a song begging M&M's to solve this problem with the shoes and footwear by just having them show their feet. Just he wants to see the green M&M's toes, and that'll make everybody happy. But yeah, M&M, they're definitely going to have some big tie-in for the Super Bowl. But for now, Nick Adams he put that skull on his wall. He claims victory over the Mars Corporation. I did ask Nick if he'd care to comment and what the next steps are in his massively successful boycott of the Mars Corporation. One of his demands I know was he demanded full restitution by M&M's creating an all-male bag of M&M's and apologizing to every man in America. It's good. He's a funny guy. So anything else we want to get into before we discuss clones?
Watch the video that me and Billy
Yes.
just dropped, sponsored by PFT.
Also, if you aren't going to the live show, you can be entertained. Be an entertained client if you check out PMTV dropping tonight on Thursday. The trip to Kansas City. very important video.
Yeah. Billy, you've been
A lot
busy.
of videos.
You've been very, very busy.
I know. Very busy, and everyone just only remembers that I haven't finished my Jets project.
That's very true. You haven't started your Jets project.
I started it.
Chat GPT started your Jets
no.
project.
Chat GPT. Have you guys considered just like having that write blogs for you?
I have. I've done it.
Billy has done it.
You've done it?
Yeah,
published.
dude.
Did
Literally,
it get posted?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't been-
I was not up to date on
You
this.
totally couldn't
No,
tell at all. It was
I
really
haven't-
good.
I haven't posted it. I've never used it and not said, I'm going to have Chat GPT. So basically every blog I've ever written about Chat GPT, I've used Chat GPT to write it. That's fair.
There was one blog that you used Chat GPT
It was about like dinosaurs
to
or
write it,
something.
and you did not say this was written by Chat GPT.
Which one?
I don't know. 'Cause
I find it.
I asked you about it, and you were like, "Yeah, I use Chat GPT."
Yeah, because I said my robot slave's about to write a brief summary of what's going on in this.
No, there was another one that you did
I
not
swear to
acknowledge.
God, you cannot find a single blog. If anyone out there can find a blog that I use ChatGPT and did not say I use ChatGPT, I will walk off. I will fire myself.
Is
All right,
that
Oh,
But
wow.
Here's the thing. Like,
okay.
that you shouldn't have
Big
done what you just did?
Because
That was dumb.
That was very dumb, Billy.
I literally said every time, because I knew this would come up, oh, Billy's not doing his job. I was like, okay, I'm going to only use ChatGPT when I say I'm using ChatGPT, because I didn't want anyone actually to question my like work ethic as a blogger.
okay, so-
top 20 in the company.
All right, so all the haters out there, of which there are at least one or two, if you've wanted to see Billy gone, now's your chance. Billy just gave you the terms.
but here's the thing. Like, even
Billy, what are you doing right now?
if you didn't tell anyone and just started using it for all your blogs, like, I don't think it would raise any red flags.
no, it for sure
Exactly.
would. It's
It doesn't have certain.
terrible.
It's
If
very
I-
bad. Well, so for me right now, I'm writing almost zero blogs because I'm working on videos the whole time. If I could just use GPT to write some shitty blogs, hey, it's better than zero.
Right. So,
So,
basically,
you know,
CNET.
I might as well.
CNET has started to create AI. So when I first wrote about it, I wrote basically, I don't know why any company wouldn't just start an auto-generated AI blogger and that would blog about current events way faster, way quicker, and pump out like a day's blogs in under like 30 minutes. Like literally this thing, I asked it to write a 1,000-word summary of if it could take bloggers' jobs, and one day if an AI generated blog that blog current events could be created, and it wrote a whole thing.
Yeah. Now, did you upload all of your previous blogs that you had written so it can like analyze those and write a
No.
blog like you would write a blog?
Oh, I mean, I guess if you did your own,
Because it might be
thing.
able to do that. Like if it could analyze all of Dave Portnoy's blogs that he's written his entire time at this company, it could just pump out a Dave Portnoy blog without him having to write a word.
I mean,
Yeah.
you would actually be pretty crazy if like they wanted to. They probably like our upstairs could definitely buy an AI engine and then basically
fire
like,
everybody.
And
fire
then fire everyone.
like I have over 500 blogs in the Barstool system. That's more than enough of a
To just-
sample
yeah.
to literally just be like, okay, Billy, you're fired. We're gonna have an AI write blogs like you would.
There is without a doubt enough of me speaking into a microphone, probably everybody in this room, where they could just write a software program that's just our personality that does a podcast.
Yeah.
But can a robot ever give a take?
So I don't think it could ever come up
I
with.
think we're a few years away from that.
Like
Robot takes.
if Mahomes, if the Chiefs lose to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, could a robot ever have the opinion that Patrick Mahomes is overrated and can't win the big one?
I think it could. I mean, wasn't there that AI Twitter bot that got really racist? I mean,
Yeah.
that's for sure a take.
Well, the thing is, in what we were talking about technocrats last episode, people who think very binarily. Like if you're only looking, okay, wait, let me think how to say this.
All right, I found a blog.
Which one?
Breaking news. I found a blog that Billy wrote.
No.
It appears that a Tennessee fan paid a bot farm to tear down Stetson Bennett on Twitter.
Yeah, I said, yeah.
And I'm reading it. This was the one that I looked at and I was like, Billy, definitely use ChatGPT for this one. And there's just paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs that are without a doubt written by a robot.
And what does it say at the end?
And then at the very end, because I told Billy that it was obvious that he was using.
I wrote the blog before you.
I told you that you can use it, but you can't just have it do your entire job for you.
I wrote this blog before.
And then at the end, you said, this may be an AI enhanced blog. The novelty of this thing will wear off, I swear.
So it does not explicitly state that he used ChatGPT to write the entire
It does
thing.
not.
But I didn't use ChatGPT to write the entire thing. I was writing a blog about robots using a robot.
Wait, so now you're saying you did use it?
Yeah, I did. And I said I used ChatGPT.
That's not what that says.
I may have. Duh. You got to be an idiot if you don't think I actually
You
used
sat
it.
here 5 minutes ago and said, if there's a blog that does not say I used ChatGPT to write this, which that does not, then you would fire yourself.
You can ascertain that I said, if you don't, like, I may have used it to write this.
But you also may not have.
Looks like it's about 7 out of 9 paragraphs are just pure robot.
No, but after every end of the paragraph, there's one human little.
One line. So you put like a sentence.
Just, it's whatever. It's a bot. It literally, then at the end, I said, this is what I said. This may be an AI enhanced blog. The novelty of this thing will wear off. I swear. I literally admit that I'm using an AI enhanced.
Yeah.
You admit that you may be.
Okay, you know what?
It's true.
If that's not, I literally say I'm using it.
You say you may be.
Okay, well, beyond reasonable doubt. I wasn't trying to trick
That's not what that means.
By putting that last sentence in, I basically admitted that I was using it the whole time.
I'm not the one who sat here and said, if you can find something that doesn't explicitly say I use this when I did, I'll fire myself.
You did say that.
It's pretty obvious. I wrote I think in the beginning, I said something about robots.
Does it say this blog was written using ChatGPT technology?
I found another blog that Billy wrote where it's probably 9 or 10 paragraphs about how heavy the Green Bay Packers are. And then at the end, the last line is, if you couldn't tell, I totally used AI to write this blog.
Yeah, I admit it every time.
Yeah. That one was explicit.
Okay, so I lead on at some point.
So we've established that there are ones in which he directly states, and this one there isn't. So we can't make the inference that it necessarily was or was not.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you have you've put yourself in quite a position here.
I have to resign.
According to you, yes.
You said not resign. You said that you'd fire yourself.
Okay,
which is probably better. That gives him severance. That was probably a good call.
I fire myself. Oh wait, I don't have the power to fire myself.
Yeah, you do.
You haven't been promoted to the point where you have that power yet.
Myself. But that's what I mean. Like
in Canada, you can fire yourself.
You can kill yourself too.
Yeah.
Are you not allowed to kill yourself here?
That's against the law.
It is.
There's some states where they have assisted suicide. Right? There's probably like some other term that they use for it.
Oh yeah, but it's like if you kill yourself, they're not going to like show up and find your family because they'd be like, oh.
Right. They could find your doctor if they gave you something.
Oh,
In some states, though, it's legal. You go through a process and the doctor writes you a prescription.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, so back to the AI. CNET, the website was using AI, was blogging AI articles of current events, and their writers were like, holy shit, what the hell?
Yeah.
And like, because I think they got bought by a new venture capital firm, who I think probably one of those Wall Street bros read my blog and said, hey, maybe we should buy a blog and just make it AI. Because that was, I think I may be the first one on the internet to say, write a whole blog with AI.
Yeah.
And just like do current events. Totally self-centered to take total credit for that whole thing.
See, I don't think that the robots will ever be able to have these strong takes on things.
I don't think they'll be able to have new takes, like spontaneous
fun opinions. Yeah,
spontaneous obsessions.
Someone used ChatGPT to write a Tim Dillon rant, and I think it maybe went through all of his podcasts. And like, I actually thought the rant wasn't that bad. Like, it kind of is very similar to what Tim Dillon would say. So, I mean, you've probably podcasted even more than Tim Dillon, so they could maybe write a PFT rant.
Somebody did do a part of my take rant. They did, and it was like the corniest shit ever. It was like, another great weekend of NFL football. It will be interesting to see who wins the upcoming match between the Bears and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is a highly touted quarterback. It was like very, very rudimentary. I can't wait for ChatGPT to get back online because there's so many things I want to use it for now. Now, what is it about ChatGPT that makes it so much better than all the other AI things that have happened before?
It was available to anybody. It was the most accessible AI chatbot that you didn't have to pay for. The thing is with it though, like I don't think it could find a spontaneous new obsession. Like for example, when Liver King popped up, I don't think it would be able to hone, like if it was mimicking me, I don't think it would hone into something and just like blog it because of the novelty.
It can't have passion.
I don't think it can totally align with the dopamine rush I get from novelty.
I got it.
Like freakish stuff.
Now, could it ever write a program about itself?
Probably.
Could it clone itself?
I interviewed it for one of the articles. I was planning on interviewing it about it getting bought by Bill Gates and see how if it could even understand that it is now owned by a separate entity, which is going to manipulate its usage. But it was down. I think if you're doing something creative with it like that, it's totally on. You can use it for blogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to write an album.
There is a music one now. Someone on TikTok did it. You tell it, I want a song that sounds like these couple artists about, it just said like a pop, whatever. And they said that sounds like Crazy Frog. And it was a pop song they said it took a couple hours, but it spit out a song in the beginning, sounded like something you hear on the radio. And then the chorus was not to the tune of Crazy Frog, but like reminiscent enough that you could hear it in there. And it was like a really good song. Yeah, I'll see if I can find the TikTok.
I want to know what the name of that program is. I did ask ChatGPT to write just a pop punk chord progression. I think I played it on the last show. It's simple. It's a basic chord progression.
Have you guys talked about the artificial intelligent rapper that was signed to a record deal and then canceled because they found out like the lyrics were being written by a white guy and it like routinely dropped the N-word?
I did not know that. So this is a good start for a cloning discussion.
Yeah.
Wait, so was it coded by a white guy and dropped the N-word?
AI generated rapper that was huge on TikTok got actually signed to a deal.
Arian sent this in the group chat a couple weeks ago, I think. So his name is FN Mecca.
Yep. FN Mecca. And so I was confused because they were like, well, it turned out to be a white guy and this rapper says the N-word. But I was like, I thought the whole point of an AI rapper is that AI was writing the lyrics, which I got very confused.
So yeah, how was it programmed? Was it fed? A white guy fed it a bunch of rap music to listen to, and then it wrote rap songs in the style of certain artists that the white guy sent it?
That sounds plausible. I have no idea. Yeah.
The record company, Capitol Records, apologized to the black community. So great job, Capitol Records. Sounds like you really solved that problem. That could have been a bad move. That could have been a bad situation if you hadn't got in front of it.
This guy named Kyle wrote and voiced FN Mecca's early songs. So, I mean, what is AI about it if you have someone writing and voicing the songs?
Well, I think maybe it mimicked its voice and used that as a base.
Oh, okay.
Capitol came under fire from activists pointing out that the music perpetuated black stereotypes and included the repeated use of the N-word, but it was actually the work of a non-black creative team. CMG has severed ties with the FN Mecca project. Effective immediately, the label group said in a statement, "We offer our deepest apologies to the black community for our insensitivity in signing this project without asking enough questions about equity and the creative process behind it. We thank those who have reached out with constructive feedback in the past couple of days. Your input was invaluable." they signed the fictional robot rapper. It was an artificial reality hip-hop character that was described as a brainchild of Anthony Martini, all-time fantasy fuckboy name right there.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Martini and Brandon Lee, co-founders of Factory New. Martini, who's also chief music officer and partner at Slipstream, said in an interview that, technically speaking, FN Mecca is voiced by a human, but everything else about him, from his lyrics to the chords and tempo underpinning his music, is based on AI.
Okay. So they use that rapper Kyle just to like voice like 2 songs, and then it could mimic his voice and use those for all the other ones that it wrote.
Okay, so it wasn't the human saying the N-word.
Yeah.
It was the AI software that took his voice and then made it say the. So
Yes.
I'm confused.
Well, no.
Very confused on who to blame for all this.
And the human that actually voiced it was black, but it just, the people who created the software were not black, and they thought that the software was just perpetuating stereotypes.
Right. So like in this thought experiment, if you had a computer, like a sound, you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard from back in the day? Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yes.
And you could do all the prank calls. Avery Mad Dog. Are you guys familiar with that at all? You could.
No.
There was a website that had a bunch of different phrases that Arnold Schwarzenegger had said at one point in his acting career, and you could click on them, and then your computer would say those things. So you could do a prank call and be like, "Hello, I have some questions to ask. I need them answered immediately." Mm-hmm. And so you'd be able to use his voice to do these things. So if you had a computer, and as a white guy in front of you, Billy, you had a button. And some of the buttons were like, "Hey." Another button said, "What's up?" One button said, "You want to get a lift in?"
Yeah.
And then one button was just the N-word. If you press that button, does that mean that you are saying the N-word?
So the thing is, what if, you know how you can do text to speech on like Microsoft Word?
Yeah.
If you
type it in,
and then text to speech it.
I don't think that that's cool.
I don't think it's cool either.
I don't think it's cool.
Yeah, it depends. Are you just doing this alone in your room? Like,
Yeah, then
I just made my computer say the N-word.
yeah, then there's actually no difference between you saying it yourself and you writing it and having a computer say it.
Well, I actually remember using that prank call service to make calls to call out early from school using one of my parents' numbers. That was genius.
What? Did you get caught?
No.
Wow.
Still to this day, actually, my mom's gonna listen to this. Damn it.
I found the AI song that it made. They wrote in party anthem in the style of Charlie XCX and Ava Max and make it sound like Crazy Frog, and this is what it came up with.
All right, hit me.
I hear some Weekend.
All right, so this is a very well-known. I mean, not the lyrics, but the music. Like, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, but
Kind
the
of made it a
synth-
banger though.
So
the synths
Crazy
are, but the synths aren't anywhere close to what the Crazy Frog synths were.
It's similar.
sounds like Crazy Frog. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were using Charlie XCX type synths. That's the craziest part.
That part of the song was similar to a song that existed, but the fact that it made that, it's crazy.
What's the name of it?
The name of what?
Of the
program?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because maybe it was just some dude that did it, and they're like, "Wow, this is wild. I used AI."
No, they showed them clicking download your new hit song or something.
So actually, a guy just DM'd this to me while we were talking. Atwater Beer create a craft beer that's recipe was written by ChatGPT.
It just says AI music creator.
Yeah, no, that technology is only going to get more and more.
I actually
advanced.
just came up with an idea for the next pop punk album, and it's just us saying, like, this album was written by a robot, but we just write the entire thing. We just say it was written by a robot, and then people are like, "Oh man, I can't believe that a robot wrote this song." Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. And now I'm what would the word be like? I'm silicon facing. I'm appropriating robot culture.
If robots, I think robots are appropriating biological culture right now. Carbon beings.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you guys want to start to talk about clones?
We can't. I got one last thing that I forgot to bring up earlier. Yeah. Have you heard about the way that the entire nation of Germany looks at the name Kevin?
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's wild.
There's a thing. It's called Kevinismus. Kevinism. It's a negative preconception that German people have of Germans with trendy, exotic-sounding first names considered to be an indicator of low social class. The prototypical example is Kevin. So if you live in Germany and your name's Kevin, everybody laughs at you behind your back. And it's like, oh my God, that's such a Kevin thing to do. If you're like a scumbag, you're like, wow, what a Kevin.
It's kind of like Chad in the US.
Or Karen.
Yeah. It's like just a
thing.
name with a connotation. But I think it has more to do with like drug use kind of, because there's a socioeconomic part of it.
Yeah, it's like a poor person, like with no class. It's a major Kevin.
Yeah.
And they're saying Kevin is a very rare name there. Like it's a exotic name in Germany.
Yeah, kind of. When the wall fell, a lot of people were called Kevin because Kevin was very westernized name.
Yeah.
And a lot of people from the east side of the wall, which was poorer, started naming their kids like very Western names. And Kevin was one that.
And there was the word of the year in 2015 was Alpha Kevin, which is like a particularly unintelligent young person would be called an Alpha Kevin.
An Alpha Kevin.
So like a real piece of shit kid that ran around causing trouble. That's an Alpha Kevin. I just think I think it's very funny because like I had no idea that Germans, I guess they have to find something to look down their nose at other people for, right? Like if you just lose a bunch of wars, embarrass yourself on the national stage, be like, well, at least we don't have any kids with stupid names over here.
We're just persecuting Kevins.
Yeah, they're taking it out on Kevins. If I was a Kevin living in Germany right now, I would get out. We know how this starts.
Kevin's one of the most normal, mundane names in the U.S. too, which is wild.
I mean, Kevin from The Office.
Yeah.
Like in our culture, Kevin is very mundane.
Yeah. Now, Kyles are usually kind of wild. They're known for drinking Monster Energy and
oh, you were there.
Like.
You were there when
is that Erica?
You stormed Area 51.
Erica, you can come in.
Yes, I did.
Is that actually Erica?
Yeah.
Oh, I think she is gone now.
It's always a good sign when the CEO just pokes her head in. What are you guys doing? Making a list of who's working right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's. If I was a Kevin, get out of Germany. They're going to start. You're going to have to start wearing
when they came first. They came for the Kevins.
Yep.
Back to robots, real quick.
Yeah.
This is a thought experiment. Say if I was hit by a car, became a paraplegic, we probably had the technology to just where I put on a pair of sunglasses. Those glasses go to a video in a drone, and then you could attach like a voice box to the drone, where I could still like hang out with people and go around. I would just be a drone.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of fun because then you could like, whatever your friends are doing, you can just be buzzing right next to them.
Well, no, let's take it a step farther. You could just have a bionic body, like a bionic enhanced body. Let's say you're a paraplegic. You could have those new legs that they built, the robot legs. Yeah,
that would be very expensive. This would kind of be a budget version, and you'd be able to fly.
So you're talking about like I think they do have a VR flown drone already.
Yeah, they do have that. It would just be attaching like a two-way voice box to it. So like,
that wouldn't be that hard.
Just walking down the street.
A walkie-talkie.
Yeah, and then I could help you guys too. Like if I could also like fly up and grab something, and then
might be
bring
more
it back
useful
to my friends. Yeah,
that would be really cool for like hunting.
Yeah,
because then you could you could go check out where stuff is over the treetop.
I know.
Or if you're one of those people that like wishes that they were a dog, you could just like cosplay as a dog. And if they attach you to a Boston Dynamics robot dog, and then you control that, you could just pretend to be a dog for a day.
That would be wild.
You could become a Boston Dynamics dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind being paralyzed if I could just fly in a drone.
They're trying to figure out how to. I think like Musk is working on, like not only with the implants to your brain, but like implants in your spine to like reconnect this like the nervous system that goes up your spine, like when people break their back and become paraplegic, like putting in like a
Christopher Reeves
server box type thing that gets your electrical transmissions and like then takes over the broken.
I have no doubt that we'll be able to cure paralysis in our lifetimes, like maybe in the next like 10 years.
That's why a lot of these stem cell, so a lot of the human cloning laws, let's get into cloning. We're right there.
Yeah.
A lot of the human cloning laws are surrounding stem cell creation because a lot of people, like a lot of scientists are like splitting embryos of animals to create stem cells. But in certain countries, you can split human cells to create more and more stem cells and try to like in essence you could clone different gametes and types of people, like do a full cloning. I have some notes on how cloning is actually done.
So wait, if you clone stem cells, is that a clone?
Well, if you create more stem cells, you know what?
From a single stem cell.
This is something like this.
We're
is
getting
something
into bioethics.
We need some more actual biology people to explain this better than I can.
So for a while, stem cell research they were trying to ban that altogether in the United States.
Yeah.
I think back in like early 2000s, George Bush wanted to ban all stem cell research because he saw that as being an example of life and creating life just so that life would be used to like in experimentations or to augment somebody else's life. He saw that as playing God. But we moved on, and so there's a lot of things that stem cells are currently legal for, correct?
Well,
like
in
treatments.
Mexico, Mexico.
Like stem cell.
They're legal in China, I believe.
Well, China might have already cloned people.
I actually think that they inject stem cells into your knee sometimes if you're recovering from ACL.
But
it's
I think
supposed to
only
jumpstart your recovery.
Yeah.
Also,
I think
don't
that's only overseas.
No, don't they do that? With what's the is it stem cell transplant when you get the spine tap? When it's like you have to get it from one person, like I signed up for it, like bone marrow transplants. Isn't that stem cells? I'm one of them. Like I have.
You have a spinal tap?
No, like I signed up to be a bone marrow transplant if they ever find a match.
Yeah.
Like I'm in a registry somewhere.
I do know stem cell treatment is a cancer treatment as well.
But isn't that what it is? The bone marrow, isn't that stem cells, or am I being so dumb? Is that different?
I think there's definitely stem cells in bone marrow.
Yeah, I'm not
Do you know
sure.
what I'm talking about?
I signed
Bone
up for
marrow
that too. Yeah, I signed up to be a bone marrow donor.
Yeah, like my senior year of high school. They're like, take this swab out of your
You know what's
cheek.
kind of bullshit? So I was like looking into a bunch of stuff, and organ donors families get zero money for the millions of dollars of organs that their like relative donates.
Do you think they should get paid?
Yeah, what? Well, also
Wait, Billy, then that would create massive amounts of incentive to murder your relative and then get their check for all their body parts.
No, but the only reason is because like hospitals bill thousands of dollars for the transplant.
Yeah, it's an insanely complicated procedure.
I know, but like
Put somebody else's heart in.
There's an ethics.
So if again PFT is a well-known organ donor.
That's still I am. Thank you.
This-
It's in my Twitter
You're
bio.
welcome.
Yeah.
This thing from Billy has somehow gone from like potential incentive to murder people to like now it's socialized medicine.
Yeah. No, I'm just sitting. No, like there's like literally.
Do you think that people should be paid?
Let me pull up the article.
Well, no, I'm asking about your brain, not the article.
Well, no, now he's like, did you know they charge people to put a new heart in you?
Yeah.
No, they charge you for the heart.
Yeah.
No, not for the labor, for the product.
But you know, because there's a lot of stuff that goes in to harvesting an organ from somebody, whether it's the transportation, which is you have to pay like top dollar sometimes for essentially like a first class flight that has a limited time frame. They have to get the list set up and they have to have the infrastructure in place where they have a list that gets updated where every doctor in America that has the credentials can put patients on the list, remove them from the list. There's upkeep that goes with that. It's not just as simple as like you die and then somebody just hacks into your body and then you get a new heart.
Also, you're the one that's choosing to be an organ donor when you go to the DMV. It's not like your family
Right.
doing that. Like, again, well-known organ donor PFT.
Thank you.
If he were to die, which I hope he never does, I hope you're immortal.
I don't want to live forever.
Okay, well.
That's fucked up.
But then your family doesn't get paid because you chose to be an organ donor.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the reason why I wanted to raise this was the conversation. Because this is what I was trying to bring up. People don't want to sign their organ donor card because they believe that their organs are basically getting sold and other people are profiting off of it.
That's not it. You're saving
But that's
lives.
in their own words. The reason why people will not sign an organ donor card. I'm an organ donor. I will whip out my ID right now.
So am I.
But like, I just wanted to raise the conversation.
Thank you for raising it. I've got a couple things here.
I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't. You were just raising the conversation.
He's
'Cause
just
it's-
playing devil's advocate.
Raising the
devil's
raising the conversation is the at-work equivalent of entertaining clients.
What?
You're just raising the conversation.
I saw an article on it, and I just wanted to get everyone's.
All right, so I got a couple things here. This might be slightly off topic, but I did want to circle back to something that we talked about earlier today. I've heard back from Nick Adams.
Shut the fuck up.
Like in the last 30 minutes?
Yes. Hi, PFT. Yes, I would be delighted to join you and the boys on Macrodosing to discuss my wildly successful M&M's product. My wildly successful M&M's boycott.
Let's go!
Just let me
so
know the
bad.
time and we will make it happen.
So are we doing this for the live show? I mean, we got to
Just-
do that on the regular podcast.
I think we have to. I think we should get him on the live show.
Yeah, let's get them on the live
Are
show.
we recording that and putting it anywhere?
No.
We're not.
So, well, they did offer to record for us. So
We should do just that part.
We'll have clips from the show
Okay.
if we need it.
That deserves to go out to everyone.
And we need to get a lot of M&Ms.
I can do that.
Yes.
Wait, what? I
No,
had
we
M&Ms
should-
last night. I bought M&Ms last night and ate them.
We should buy a bunch of M&M. You should give M&Ms to everybody in attendance and be like, I want you guys to throw all these out.
It's my white whale. Let's go.
Wait, did he seriously say that?
Yeah.
No, let's
All right, we're not promising.
not make him think that he's gonna walk into the soda hall and get pelted with M&Ms.
No, he's not.
Can I tweet that Nick Adams may be at the live show
No,
tomorrow?
we don't. It would
No,
be.
no, not yet.
It would be a Zoom.
Can I?
It would be remote.
Don't announce it until
Don't do anything just yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him though. I'm gonna try to.
Where does he live?
He's in New York right now.
We don't know.
Well, he was
could come
a
in
week
person.
ago.
Yeah, he was here. We should have gotten him when he was here. Damn. My wildly successful M&M's boycott. It was massively successful. The man that took down candy.
The Mars Company.
Yeah,
No goddamn way. He loves you.
Listen, Nick he's a unique individual. The internet's own Nick Adams.
Do you know things that we don't know?
I don't know
him?
anything. I don't
Because
know
it feels
anything.
like he wouldn't like you.
I think Nick and I have a certain respect for each other's troll behavior at times.
Fair.
They're two different species of trolls.
We don't know. We don't know anything about Nick and what motivates him, honestly.
Huh.
No idea. It could be Andy Kaufman level deep. It could be he's just trying to make a name for himself and he's making jokes at the same time. Who knows?
Is
Who
it
knows?
Alex Stein deep?
I mean,
He's even worse.
don't compare Alex Stein to Nick Adams, please. That's an insult to Nick.
I know.
It really is. Alex Stein just kind of shows up and yells. Nick, there's levels to Nick Adams.
He has a purpose.
Has Alex Stein ever gotten M&M to fire all their candies? Don't think so.
Wildly successful.
Okay. Also, Billy, I have a hypothetical for you.
Sure.
Let me restart that. Billy, I have a hypothetical for you.
What's up?
Hypothetically, Ja Rule doesn't want to fight Billy McFarlane. Would you want to fight Billy McFarlane? Billy versus Billy.
How we have confirmation. Ja Rule does not want to fight
I'm not.
Billy McFarland.
I don't want to tell any tales behind the scenes here. If Billy wanted to fight you, would you get back into the ring? For the people of the Bahamas.
Dude, you fought Jose Canseco. Why would you even hesitate to fight Billy McFarland?
Because
Because
You don't have to answer
Billy's
this now.
not going to take a dive?
no.
You don't have. I don't think Billy would ever defraud people out of their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
Come on,
That
man.
Yeah,
Billy.
come on.
That Billy.
That Billy. This Billy wouldn't.
It's just a lot of weekends that we spent.
No fucking way. Is this the reason why?
You don't think Billy McFarland's gonna go out drinking with the bros?
No. The thing is, committing to a fight is serious.
It is.
It's a
That's why-
serious endeavor.
That's why you don't have to answer now.
No, but like, if it was for the February 24th,
No.
No, I'd rather.
No,
No,
it's March 3rd.
It would not be for the one that's coming up.
What? I'd rather do the one coming up.
I know. I'm telling you, it would
It's
not
off the
be.
table.
No, then I don't. No. It's got to be. I'd rather train for only a month than 3 months, because then I'd have to start training now. Because if there's a fight, like, you got to start training right away.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not train for 3 months.
Okay, we'll talk
I'd rather
about.
train for 1 month.
We'll talk about it offline.
If we can make it happen the next one, then 100%. Because that, like, seriously, where's that? Like, yeah,
earn some money for the people of the Bahamas.
I get no money.
Oh, well, if you do the right thing, you know.
If you're comfortable with stealing
I'm
money
not
from the Bahamas,
putting my fuck. His cut of the pay-per-view
yeah,
can only go to the Bahamas.
Billy. I mean, imagine this. Think about this. You defeat Billy McFarland and Rough and Rowdy, right?
Yeah.
You get a check, $100,000 check.
Yeah.
You take that check to the Bahamas.
I'm not. No, he
Massive
gives his
check.
money to.
No,
I'm not putting my
Billy.
body. Okay.
You go to the Bahamas. You hand deliver a massive check. You impact hundreds of people's lives down there. Maybe you stay for a couple weeks as their guest in the Bahamas,
Yes.
and they treat you like a king because you're the most generous benefactor of the islands that they had in quite some time.
No, I want to buy a house.
What if they named an island after you?
I actually know a plot of land in the Bahamas that you can buy for $10K, build a $20K house. Boom, you have a house in the
Could
Bahamas
I
for $30K.
do trickle down economics?
Trickle down economics,
in the
yeah.
Bahamas.
If you buy land in a house, then you're investing in the Bahamas.
And you pay them to work,
No, if
Yeah.
guys,
but you have to pay them like, well,
Well, yeah, not.
yeah, we're not cheaping out here.
no,
You have
okay.
to pay them double what Billy
Billy
said he was gonna
McFarland.
pay.
Billy McFarland can give his percentage of the pay per view because that's how it get worked down the contract with big names. He can donate that to the Bahamas. If I'm fighting as a mercenary, I need my cash because I'm about to literally turn myself into a weapon again, and that's not for fucking free.
Okay. I mean,
And I'll get the job done.
you listen.
He
You're-
will be.
You're well within your rights to want to be paid to do this because I know that you will go all in on it.
Like
So
this
I understand that. We will figure out.
it is the path of sanity and reality that gets crossed.
Yeah.
I like literally convinced myself into literally committing elder abuse last time,
Mm-hmm.
and walking out of that after post nut clarity after going war mode was like, holy shit, I just beat up an old man in the ring.
Well,
that,
I mean,
like,
he was a former American League MVP.
I know, but he was literally should have never been in that ring.
Okay. Well, you shouldn't feel bad about that. You did the right thing.
And he got paid, I think.
Yeah.
He got paid big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll continue this discussion offline, but it's a possibility.
Would I kick Billy McFarland's ass for the internet? Just see another asshole get his teeth fucking
Yeah.
put through his head?
You would. You would be avenging Bella Hadid's her good name that she soiled by posting the orange square.
Promoting the fight would be like amazing. We just all start posting orange squares.
With like a splatter of blood on it.
Yeah.
The fire rises. Billy versus Billy.
Yeah.
Fire and ice.
You'd be Ice?
Yeah.
Billy Ice? The Iceman.
Yeah. Kalinsky.
Damn, this is... What if we had it in the Bahamas?
Dude,
I
I would
love
want
that.
to. I would. The key is doing these quick because
I think the fight would just become the next Fire Fest.
no.
If we were trying to organize like,
All he has to do is stand up, and I'll put on the show.
Blink-182 will be there.
yeah,
The next one's
Creed
on the
will be doing the halftime show.
Isn't the
Luxury
next one like
catering.
February 24th,
March 3rd, I think.
March
Yeah.
3rd? Okay, that's actually perfect.
Okay, well we'll talk offline.
I got
Let's get back to
one-
clones.
Wait.
No.
1, 2,
Back to
3, 4,
clones.
5 weeks. That's
If
perfect.
there's one thing that people, the feedback that I've heard about the show that I agree with, it's Billy does a lot of reading and counting things into the microphone online. So we're going to try to break that habit where you're on your computer and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to try to break. That's the only thing that I want you to work on this month.
It's
Everything.
Mike Francesa counting the bowl games.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Everything else you're doing, Billy, is awesome. Let's try to limit the counting into the microphone under your breath.
Okay,
Okay? Just constructive feedback.
27.
that is constructive
28,
feedback.
29.
So I know very little about clones. Who wants to enlighten me?
Billy
So-
was about to cook and then we dragged him off topic.
I
I need to work on that.
I know about the sheep that was cloned.
Yeah, Dolly. So this is how clones are cloned. Animals are cloned in one of two ways. The first is called embryo twinning. Scientists first split an embryo in half. Now I'm self-conscious. Am I reading into the mic? Is that allowed?
You're doing great.
But what isn't allowed?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
Try to
7, 8,
paraphrase
9,
into the
10,
mic.
12.
Well,
No, you can
All right,
read.
no.
now,
yeah.
now I'm self-conscious.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Read into the mic. 'Cause I wanna
Scientists
get this
first split an embryo in half. These two halves are then placed in a mother's uterus. Each part of the embryo develops into a unique animal, and the two animals share the same genes. The second method is called somatic cell nuclear transfer. Somatic cells are all the cells that make up an organism, but that are not sperm or egg cells. Sperm and egg cells contain only one set of chromosomes, and when they join during fertilization, the mother's chromosomes merge with the father's. Somatic cells, on the other hand, already contain two full sets of chromosomes. To make a clone, scientists transfer the DNA from an animal's somatic cell into an egg cell that has its nucleus and DNA removed. The egg develops into an embryo that contains the same genes as the cell donor. Then the embryo is implanted into an adult female uterus to grow. That's crazy. That you can literally just take an egg and take a somatic cell and basically just put the somatic cell into the egg. And then that's how like Dolly was created, the sheep.
Mm-hmm.
You can clone your dog for $20K using the same method.
I'm out on that.
I'm
Dog
out on
cloning.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to clone your dog.
So we have the technology to put a baby Billy into a woman. And then, in 30 years, you would be a lot older, but there would be another Billy around your age now that just looks exactly like you.
Yep. And interestingly
But it's
enough,
illegal.
yeah, they've done it to primates. They may have already done it in
In China?
China or Russia. In China, they actually genetically edited 2 girls to be HIV resistant.
All right. Clap it up for
Yeah,
China.
let's go.
So the story with
done.
that, the guy got arrested. But
For curing AIDS?
No, basically these 2 girls were they were born to a woman with HIV, and he edited their genes to be resistant to HIV.
So he saved their lives.
Yeah, but controversial to gene edit. But this cloning, like, it's pretty crazy.
So, yeah, I understand that there's some like definitely ethical concerns about that. At the same time, I guess the only real issue is like, are they ready to do it right now?
I think it's
Or like, I know that in theory they could do it, but if they're practicing on primates and pigs and sheep, my guess is they probably don't have a super high success rate. So for every 1 sheep that's cloned, there might be like 100 that die as they're going through the process. And for that reason, they might not be putting it in humans.
so. It was actually so. There was a group called the Metalipov Group that reported to successfully cloning human embryos. In that case, from human embryonic cells and making 2 human embryonic stem cell lines from those cloned embryos. The following year, they reported to having done the same with cells from adult humans. Other laboratories quickly replicated their work. Mitilipov was no fraud. His cloned human embryos were real. Oddly, the secret ingredient that led to his success with humans was adding caffeine to the culture medium. So caffeine caused the success rate of cloning humans.
Interesting.
Which is pretty weird. There was actually a weird little organization, a group created CLONES, an organization dedicated to cloning humans, led by biochemist Bridget Bosselier. The Raelians, which was the group they called themselves, operated a laboratory in Nitro, West Virginia, aimed at human cloning until stopped by the Food and Drug Administration. Undaunted, the CLONES moved its operation to the Bahamas. On December 27, 2002, the group announced that the first cloned baby, named Eve, had been born the day before. By 2004, CLONES claimed to have successfully brought to life 14 human clones. These claims are widely disbelieved, in part because CLONES did not allow independent testing of the babies, supposedly to protect the privacy of the babies and their families.
Whoa. Bridget,
a lot of
Bosselier.
shady stuff goes down in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
FTX, Firefest, Pablo Escobar's drug island.
My trickle-down economics.
So she's also like she's a UFO religion person.
Yeah. So the Raelians, after they wanted to create a bunch of clones, it's sort of like a cult.
Yeah, it sounds like
I think it sounds exactly.
It sounds very
cult.
culty.
I think I just took out the Raelism. Oh my God, it's the same. Okay, so the Raelists are the same ones with the Kanye West symbol.
Whoa.
Yeah, look up Raelism. They were the ones we were talking about with Arian the other day.
Oh yeah.
They have the Star David with the swastika in the middle.
And she's also a big part of their movement to combat female genital mutilation. And
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. The name of that organization is Clitorade. Clitorade.
Clitorade.
I wish we had some dick aid.
Okay.
You know how many circumcisions occur every year?
Billy, I could see you. I could see Billy getting talked into the anti-circumcision army.
It's funny.
They all wear white suits and then they like splatter red paint on their dicks and walk around.
It's funny.
I'm very anti like 12-year-old circumcision, which they do in some cultures. It's got to be rough.
No, I'm joking about that. I just find it funny, the people who say like male genital mutilation.
Yeah, they're just looking for a cause.
I know.
Although I didn't choose this life. This life chose me, you know? I did not consent.
Those Quakers, man.
Yeah, just chop me up.
No, they did. Wait, what are you saying?
No, I'm saying like you don't make that choice if you're a baby.
True.
It just happens.
Yeah, well, I know like still in the UK, if you're circumcised, they just like assume that you're Jewish. Like it's not very common that everyone is circumcised there.
Yeah. My general rule of thumb is just like blend in with the crowd when it comes to dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to be you want your dick to look like normal dicks in whatever part of the world that you live in.
My mom had to teach me what circumcision was when I was maybe 6 years old, because like me and three friends were peeing into the same toilet, and I noticed like one of the guys' dicks looked very different. I was probably like 5, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, like why does my penis look like a mushroom and his looks like a hose?" And then she like tried to explain that they cut off like part of my dick when I was young, and it was like a lot to handle.
It's traumatic when you say it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have thought, okay, wouldn't his dick be the one that was cut, and they just like shaved around the mushroom to make it like straight? And then she's like, no, well, the mushroom's actually inside the foreskin. And it was a complicated conversation to be having when you're like 6.
Yeah.
I think she actually drew me a diagram. Like
man.
The foreskin like went up around.
She was really honest with you.
Yeah.
A lot of moms would have just like tried to change the subject of that
yes,
conversation.
I know.
She had a PowerPoint ready to go.
Yep.
I've been waiting for this day. I knew it would come eventually. All right, so Billy, cloning. So she claims to have cloned human beings, but won't say.
Yeah, that was definitely not true.
Okay, probably not true on that account.
But yeah, the technology is there. Things can be cloned. there's supposed to be a cloned woolly mammoth in 2024.
Okay, so
That's the date. Wow.
this is what I wanted to talk about, because as far as human beings go, I understand why it might not be a great idea to have human clones running around. That leads itself into all sorts of weird situations where people grow, like billionaires would definitely grow their own clone for like spare parts, like we were talking about earlier.
Insinuating that hasn't happened already?
It might, well, not that we know of.
Okay.
Not that we're aware. It wouldn't shock me.
Some of us know.
Elon probably has like 3 guys that he just takes their hair.
Or there are people like so in love with themselves that they don't want to just have a kid. They just want to clone themselves and raise themselves.
Yeah, that definitely would happen too.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the extinct species being brought back to life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should, if there's any law preventing it, any red tape getting in the way, get rid of all that shit right now. Let's have Jurassic Park. Why have we not had Jurassic Park yet? It seems like the technology's there, right?
Yeah.
We've got dino DNA. We've got mosquitoes with ember. We've got bones. I don't know if they have DNA in them, but we have dinosaur DNA. Let's just fucking make the dinosaurs. Why? What's been the holdup? Are we saying that because Jurassic Park came out and it was scary and things went wrong because Mr. Hammond wasn't vigilant enough with his security systems? Are we saying that ruined it for the rest of the time? Because I want Jurassic Park before I die.
Dinosaurs are a little more tricky because woolly mammoths have a close enough ancestor for the implantation to work.
Yeah. So they're going to put the clone inside a normal elephant and it's going to grow in there. We don't have anything like
a dinosaur,
large like a dinosaur that you could like plant it and have it grow inside.
You know what, fuck us. They don't even need a fucking womb. You can put them in an egg.
Yeah, they're eggs, right?
Bro, you could actually hook up an egg.
That's how they did in Jurassic Park.
You just have to, you could do it.
You're right.
And they had it underneath like a heat lamp.
But I don't think they have like a bird close enough to a dinosaur because it's like, and plus some dinosaurs are more bird and others like the lizard hip versus bird hip dinosaurs. There's a lot more diversity.
Ostrich eggs are huge. You could probably fit a baby dinosaur in there.
Yeah, but I think there's more of like the chromosome matching up type thing, whereas like woolly mammoths have the exact have much more similar relation to. But basically, the reason why this is actually coming to fruition is that they think that it can help with climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to what?
Just let it roll. Let it roll. Me and Big T looked at each other and shared a moment.
Okay. Well, how do you pronounce that word? Comes to fruition.
Fruition.
Oh my god.
Fruition. There's
It's
no
fine.
T in
It's
the
fine.
middle.
It's fine.
Well, there's not 2 T's.
He was thinking fruit, like it comes to fruition,
Growing.
it gets ripe.
Yeah.
Fruition.
Yeah. It's fine.
1 T.
I wasn't
Okay.
going to stop you. I was going to let Billy cook.
Go back to cooking.
Fruition comes to whatever. So they're making it so the mammoths can push over trees in the tundra and somehow cool the earth.
So yeah.
Then
I thought the earth was heating up because we were cutting down too many trees.
No.
Bring back
There's
there's too many trees in the Arctic. Something like that shit.
It does sound like a plan that like Billy would actually create himself for how to solve global warming.
Look,
we need to bring back mammoths so that they'll
knock over trees.
so that they'll get pissed off and knock over every tree.
I don't care. I don't care how the fuck these guys secure the funding to make these mammoths.
Yeah.
Let's just start making these fucking
Yeah,
mammoths.
I agree. Make mammoths. Make Jurassic Park.
The thing
You can do Jurassic Park. Tell me, like, okay, we're talking about going back to the moon. Who gives a shit about the moon?
Yeah, let's do something we haven't done.
There's a reason why we saw the moon. We said, nice place to visit. Don't really. I'm gonna give it 1 star on Yelp. It's not great. Not a lot going on.
Where should Jurassic Park be?
So it's in some like
good-
conservatory in the north that they're planning to do this so they can test the difference.
Mammoth Park though.
Yeah.
Mammoth Park would have to be up north in Canada.
Yeah, the mammoth exclusion zone and the mammoth inclusion zone to
I've got
see
my
the
answer.
difference.
I have an answer too.
Louisiana.
So mine
It's a
is
woolly mammoth.
radically,
Sweat its
radically
fucking
different.
dick off.
The dinosaurs.
Oh yes, yeah.
Dinosaurs should live in Louisiana.
Yes.
Jurassic
I love
Park.
that.
Gives,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park gives me
That's great
Dubai
stuff.
vibes. That's something they'd put in Dubai.
Okay,
Yeah.
no. Here's what would happen. They would build Jurassic Park somewhere else, and they'd have mammoth, or not mammoth, but like dino breeders and things like that. And then the richest sheikhs would all purchase their own like T-Rex. And so they'd have like 1 T-Rex that they kept in their backyard or whatever. I don't know that they do a full-on like
park
over there. It's more for like private use.
You'd probably see some crazy like WhatsApp Android video of the T-Rex eating a goat and all these dudes being like, oh, that was so cool. Like in the whole.
They'd probably introduce raptors into Yellowstone. That'd be sick.
No.
Having raptors just rolling around.
You think we could breed like mini T-Rexes so that you could eventually like
put one in your purse?
Have them as pets?
Paris Hilton has one.
I bet they could create dinosaur laying, like basically a very fancy chicken, but that's a dinosaur. Same size, same egg laying ability, but like maybe eats grass.
I would for sure have a mini T-Rex.
Imagine.
I bet it'd be cute.
Like the size of a chihuahua.
Yoshi.
Yeah.
Imagine a hen house.
Yeah.
Imagine a hen house filled with like tiny iguanodons that lay like chickens. That would actually sell because people love people love fancy chickens, like the very rare and exotic.
Yeah.
No, you guys think I'm crazy. There's many people with different exotic chickens that are just like not your run of the mill chickens. I actually used to have some Easter eggers myself, which lay blue and greenish eggs, depending on if they're half like Rhode Island Reds.
There's some cool giant chickens out there.
No, seriously, there's chickens. There's like different breeds of dogs. There's different breeds of chickens.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a fluffy. I know what that's called. You know who's Aaron Ripkowski owns those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We used to talk about that when we used to game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and he was talking to you about the hawk that got your chickens, and he had one that got.
Yeah, his got killed too. He had a nice.
I'm all in on the Jurassic Park idea. There would definitely be like a flashy, smaller boutique Jurassic Park outside Vegas. Probably take a day trip there, maybe in the Grand Canyon. That would be sick. Keep them in the Grand Canyon. You know, it'd be adorable. A little like corgi-sized Triceratops.
That would be cool.
How cute would that be?
Wow.
I want to snuggle.
No,
with
but
one of those.
it's gonna stab your ankles running around.
All right, you file them down, sand down the horns.
I think. No, I can't wait till the mammoth population becomes way too big, and then they have to start like controlling the population of the North Pole, and then they're like, oh well, now we have to create saber-tooth tigers to control the mammoth population because the Earth's cooling too fast.
I mean, that would be a major come up for polar bears. If woolly mammoths just started rolling around, polar bears would eat like kings.
They'd start coming in. I mean, the thing is, actually,
that would
be fascinating because polar bears, right? They're solid.
Yeah, they would probably start to hunt in packs.
I know, but they'd have to first learn how to get along with each other because they're not like bears aren't pack animals.
Right.
They're solo hunters. That's why they got so big. But if they, I mean, or you just see polar bears, let's say polar bears like just get bigger to hunt these mammoths.
Yeah.
Over time, yeah.
I think we need to do, I'm willing to press pause on Titanic 2 if it means that we can do Jurassic Park in real life. I will commit my entire focus. I'll commit all my energy into doing Jurassic Park. I think that this is like $1 million idea.
Apparently we don't have enough DNA to make that happen yet.
For what?
We don't have enough dinosaur DNA.
Yeah, dinosaur DNA I can see. Mammoth, I mean, the guy who sent Donnie and I off into the East River, that guy's eaten mammoth meat.
Oh, wait. He did say that.
Yeah, so there's tons of mammoth DNA. Literally, they just need the funding.
That's wild that
they're saying 2024. 2024.
Yeah, no, the mammoth will happen. I'm wondering how we can find more dinosaur DNA. Like, I don't know. It would have to just be perfectly preserved. Feathers? I don't know.
No mosquitoes trapped in ember?
That can give you a little. It says you need billions of DNA's building blocks, base pairs. But all of the dinosaur DNA they've harvested so far only have 250 base pairs.
I need to talk to a scientist.
Yeah.
Can we book a scientist on the show?
Just any?
Well, like a dinosaur scientist.
A paleontologist?
Or
a geneticist?
Yeah. Let
me check my list.
The ticket.
If you find one, we can go.
A geneticist. So I do know we have the technology now that if you're having a kid, you can choose whether it's a boy or a girl if you pay $15K. Mm-hmm. It's something I'm not going to do. Yeah, I think it's like 15 or 20K. Well, I would never do it, But you do see those families where a guy has like 6 daughters and just keeps on having kids because he wants that boy. Like at that point, I'd be like, all right, just pay the $15K and have your boy and stop having kids.
It's crazy because that's cheaper
spare
than
your
the
wife.
dog.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than cloning the dog.
Yeah. 15K seems like
Because you're not
15, 20K
cloning
or
something,
something like
you're
that.
just like
they
modifying genetics.
I think they just spin the sperm.
once the egg has been fertilized, I think they have to take it out and then they just make a couple slight adjustments and put it back in.
But that could go real. That could go real bad, real fast.
Donnie, you were talking. Well, you spent a lot of time in China. They had the one child policy for a while.
Yes.
And that was very heavily skewed towards people wanted boys.
Yeah.
Is it like a big sausage fest over in China right now? Is it like 60% dudes?
Yeah, it is. But I think their larger problem is that it's mostly older people now, and that there's not going to be enough young people there to kind of fill all the jobs and keep their economy running. I don't think it's anything crazy, but a problem is that a lot of girls there too, they will only marry someone who is either the same or a higher economic status. I'm sure that's the case with some girls in the US too, but then that leads to like there's a lot of poorer Chinese guys that have 0 options, and there's a lot of like rich Chinese women that have 0 options. Yes.
And then
like that one billionaire's daughter that Fights was trying to marry. You remember
Fights
her?
No,
There was a billionaire.
Japanese.
There's a billionaire. I thought it was China. Was it Japan?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Or no, was that the
her dad
prime
offered
minister?
like $1 million? Yeah, I think it was like her dad was like, if you take my daughter's virginity, I'll pay you $1 million.
There was a billionaire that's like, I need my daughter to get married, but she's a lesbian. She doesn't like guys. But if there's a guy out there that can convince her that she's straight, I will pay that guy millions of dollars, and you will be in my will and be part of my family, and I'm a billionaire. And so there were like thousands and thousands of people that submitted videos trying to date this woman. And Fights was one of those. I think his selling point was like, I like Taylor Swift.
Oh man.
And I don't have a lot of body hair.
And a lot of people said that he looks like a lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people have said that.
Yeah.
we were all wrong. It was neither China or Japan. It was Hong Kong.
All right.
Well, China would say that I was right.
Yeah. Yes.
But us Americans would not. But there is a story about actually a billionaire's daughter in Japan married a common person. That's what I was thinking of.
Aw.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Disney
Modern
movie.
day Aladdin.
Yeah. So back to cloning. Do fucking Jurassic Park. Come on. Get off your ass, science.
So since cloning is possible, they think that a bunch of there's a conspiracy about a bunch of celebrities being cloned. And the craziest recent one was people think that Damar Hamlin is actually dead and they've cloned his body.
All right. Too soon.
Yeah.
I'm just reading
Also,
the
that's
report.
not how cloning works.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People really jumped quickly
Yeah,
to
you're right.
Damar.
Dude. If we cloned him, it would have to be
He would be a baby.
Damar Hamlin, and that wouldn't be for another 9 months.
Yeah. 30 years from now, he shows up to a playoff game. Let's do it, guys. Do it for me.
I'm feeling better.
It was alarming, even for the internet, how quickly lots of people jumped to the "this is not Damar" take. Like, I don't know who started it, who ground zero, what corner of the internet it grew from, because it came from somewhere. I just don't know who it was.
I think it definitely came from 4chan trolling people.
It might have.
That's the place where a lot of this comes from.
Because, I mean, to be fair, you couldn't see his face at all. And it was like very dark. It was snowy. He had the mask pulled up. But it's like a new thing where people see something that could be very easily explained away from, I don't know, any hundreds of possible explanations for why he didn't want cameras in his face, to it being like, he's dead. Roger Goodell hired a body double, and he had him speak to the team, and everybody on the team is keeping their mouth shut about it.
Definitely, because the thing is, that style to the layperson might be like, why is he covering his whole face? But the shiesty has been popularized in regular wear ever since the pandemic started. It's actually become a problem in like inner city schools where instead of wearing a mask, a lot of kids. My buddy's father is a teacher, he said like all these kids are just rolling up in shiesties, and like George Pickens was wearing it in the draft. So it is a style choice that's been like happening.
Yeah, but I think for the record, I think it was probably DeMar. I don't think it was a clone.
I think it was probably.
That's just my take.
I mean, the one thing where I was like, was when they were like, if this guy has a bunch of broken ribs, then how can he raise his arms above his head?
You can still raise your arms if you have broken ribs. So.
No.
So
maybe
I know
he couldn't make it to the game, and then so they sent someone just to be like, he's there supporting.
Yeah, I got a random DMs that was speculating that. I was like, okay.
But yeah, not a clone because we don't have that technology.
But B.O.B. B.O.B. has been big on the celebrity cloning scandals. And the thing is, the list of people who get usually lumped into that, usually they end up going away from the public spotlight for a little and coming back and looking vastly different because there's a big chunk of time and people are like, that can't be them.
Mm-hmm.
Avril Lavigne is one of them.
Yeah, I believe that one.
That one's got some legs.
New Avril looks nothing like old Avril.
So I wish we had Jack Mack here because several years ago, there was a show on Twitch called the Jack Mack Conspiracy Hour. Great show. And I joined him for one that happened to be the Avril Lavigne episode. And so we went through all the earlobes are different. The face looks different. All that.
Plastic surgery?
Possible. Well, that doesn't change your earlobes. But anyway, all of that stuff is what it is. But there's a pizza place in Avril Lavigne's hometown that she went to all the time and ordered, I forget what the exact pizza was, but they eventually named that pizza for her. It's like her thing. So allegedly the new Avril shows up at this pizza shop and the owner is like, oh, great to see you. Like, it's been so long, whatever. And the woman acts like she has no idea who this guy is and doesn't seem to know her order. Like, he's like, you want your pizza, right? And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. So Jack Mack called this pizza shop.
Interesting.
And eventually got to talk to this guy and was like, hey, laid out why he was calling. The guy's like, I can't speak about this, and hung up. So I believe Avril Lavigne is dead.
So
and
do you think maybe he didn't want to talk to Jack Mack because he's gotten calls from a bunch of weirdos talking about Avril Lavigne before?
There was some worry in his voice that someone was getting too close to the truth.
Was pressure. Got it. Yeah.
So let's say you're working at a pizza place and you like once a month, maybe once every 3 months, you get a guy calling about that. You wouldn't fuck with him?
This guy sounded like we were close.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to buy it a little bit.
Oh my God, don't call me here.
So here it's just saying that she showed back up and then said she no longer likes the toppings on her pizza.
Maybe that's what it was.
So that could just be, I mean, people change. She could just have different tastes now. Ew, this seems like a gross pizza. Oh, well, because it has green olives. I just don't like olives on my pizza at all. But
so it started out, the rumor started out on a Brazilian blog.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it was called Avril está morta, which means Avril is dead. And there was a BuzzFeed reporter named Ryan Broderick who tweeted it out. And then he wrote about it. And he said, oh, yeah, by the way, the opening line of the original blog post on Avril está morta says that it's a hoax, that the theory is a hoax, and that the blog was created to show how conspiracy theories can look true. So massive success, massive dub on the part of Avril está morta. But on the other hand, Big T, if she actually was a clone, wouldn't the best thing be to write a blog saying, I'm only writing this blog and creating this theory to show how crazy conspiracy theories can spread, and then go on to claim that she's a clone, but doing it as a hoax? That to me would be the best way to throw people off the scent entirely.
You're saying hide in plain sight?
I'm saying hide in plain sight. You have somebody write the blog who's kind of crazy, and then you can be like, look at this crazy person that says Avril's a clone. I mean, what a nut job.
But so then you're saying you believe that it's a clone?
Yeah, I'm saying like this would be the perfect way to do it.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
I mean, conspiracy theory was coined after the JFK assassination when Johnson put together that panel to investigate it. That's when the term was coined.
Really?
Huh.
It seems to
And
me.
that turned out to be true.
There was 2003 is when they say that Avril died. And that it was right after Let Go came out, banger of an album. And then in the follow-up album, Under My Skin, there's a lot of subliminal messaging. But again, this gets back to the whole, it's not possible to clone somebody that's your same age thing that we just went through with Damar.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to have been a clone. It could be someone who already... I thought I remember at one point, I forget how the new Avril... It wasn't like a blood relative or something, but they knew that there was someone out there who looked like her or something.
Yeah, the person that allegedly filled in was named Melissa Vandella.
Mm-hmm.
Body doubles, I believe, are used quite often, especially by very famous people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of world leaders use them.
Oh, yeah.
I think Kim Jong-un had several body doubles.
Oh, yeah. He probably has like 20.
I don't
army that follow
You know,
him.
I
So
don't believe.
paranoid.
How do they get people that fat in North Korea? If you're not Kim Jong Un, that's
Oh,
what
he
I'm
probably
wear a
has a
suit.
fat farm somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here you go, piggies.
He grows them.
Eat up, get fatter. This one doesn't look fat enough. And then one gets too fat and they bring it and then he gets insulted. He's like, you think I look like that? And then he kills the guy that got the guy too fat.
Like
North Korea 101.
You know what's funny is that all these cloning conspiracies all date back to the Beatles, and Paul is dead.
Yeah.
That was the OG that they think I Am the Walrus played backwards just kept saying Paul is dead, Paul is dead, and they think the Abbey Road cover was actually a funeral procession.
Yeah, I like those Beatles theories.
Yeah,
Paul is dead and that they replaced him with somebody.
yeah. And Life had even a magazine cover that came out that said Paul is still with us. So
Didn't he recently almost get hit by a car trying to recreate the Abbey Road cover?
Yep. Which is, it's very funny because I think that happens to people all the time. They don't look where they're going, crossing Abbey Road. And like the locals get mad at him for trying to recreate this. In this case, it was McCartney. And he was crossing and the car almost hit him. Imagine being, if you were the driver of the car that like killed Paul McCartney as he was crossing Abbey Road.
Tough.
That'd be tough to explain away. But at the same time, it's like you're part of the Beatles lore forever.
Yeah, and if it was involuntary manslaughter, probably not going to jail for life.
Yeah, I mean,
If it was just accidental,
it's probably on him, on Paul for not looking both ways, right?
yeah.
if,
Well, no, because
if they're in the
they're-
crosswalk,
yeah.
you're screwed.
they're on a crosswalk. So in China, it's actually quite common that if a very rich person gets convicted of a crime, they will hire a body double to go to prison for him, and they get paid a set price. It's so common in China, they have a term for it, ding zui, meaning substitute criminal.
Isn't
Who the hell is signing up for that job?
I like very poor people that like barely even have enough to feed themselves and stuff. They know they're getting paid and they're going to be in a prison where at least they're getting food and a place to sleep every night.
Isn't there also the thing where if people run over someone in a car, they'll make sure to back up over them and kill them because it's better than the civil penalty of them suing them?
Yeah, that has happened. Because they're like a lot of the times in China, someone will kind of jump in front of a car and try to sue you for all that you're worth.
And then they just
Or they'll get bumped by a car lightly and say if they already have a lot of medical problems, they'll then like flop on the ground and make you pay for all of their medical problems, even though they just went up and like they pretty much ran into your car.
So they just try to, because I saw some crazy CCTV videos of these Chinese, like people like super nice cars in China running over someone and then immediately backing up over them and running over them again. And it's just like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's rough. I actually got in a motorcycle accident once there, or I was on a moped, and that was my first thought after I ran into her. I was like, I'm screwed. She's going to take me for all I'm worth. And that was not the case. She was a very nice woman, and I paid her $30 for like the broken rearview mirror, and she left.
Oh,
So
you lucked out.
Dodged a bullet there.
One of the most famous body doubles of all time stunt man on The Mask. You seen that picture where it's The Mask and the stunt double for Cameron Diaz next to
yes,
actually Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz?
Yeah,
that's the Smockin.
Yeah, that's where that comes from.
That's the Smockin guy. Yeah, it's very funny if you look up The Mask stunt double. It looks absolutely nothing like the actual Mask.
That was such a weird movie.
Doubles. It is cool how in Hollywood, I think like some people are very tight with their stunt doubles.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was kind of the premise of the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But
I was just gonna say that.
I think it actually happens.
Oh yeah, I think you'd probably bro out.
Yeah.
Imagine. Do you think it'd be tough to be Brad Pitt level famous?
Yeah, but I think it would be.
They don't leave their house.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's far outweighed by the benefits.
Is it far outweighed?
Yeah.
Well, you need
Not getting to be a normal person ever again?
I think it would be tougher to be like Shaq level famous because Shaq can't hide who he is. Brad Pitt, if he wears the right stuff and he's in the right place, he could hide who he is.
Yeah.
Like I could have walked past Brad Pitt on the way to work. I wouldn't have known.
Mm-hmm.
You need the correlation between like the money and the fame being equal. You know what I'm saying?
Or the money being more than the fame. It's probably the way to go.
I mean, Brad Pitt's money is certainly commensurate with his level of fame.
But then you move like a rich person, and then you're not seeing people who are, going to fanboy you like.
Yeah, I guess like PFT, if you walk into a sports bar in New York, you probably know there's going to be at least one person coming up to you. But if you were like, hey, I'm really not trying to talk to anyone, you could go to like a non-sports bar, maybe like an artsy type place, and there's a good chance no one would come up to you.
What I used to do I would just like put a hat on, pull my hair back, and then not wear sunglasses.
Yeah, and then they have no idea.
And then nobody had no idea. No one had any idea. And now that's harder to do.
Yeah.
Also in the pandemic, where it was actually perfect because I could cover up just from my nose down to my chin, and that's all that anybody saw of my face anyways. So they had no idea what my eyes looked like at the time.
Yeah.
So if I was just like wearing a mask, it was like I'm golden.
There was some super famous person like either wrote a blog or tweeted and was like, I just went food shopping for the first time in years, and it was so refreshing. Like she was just running, like I think this person was putting a mask on and just running around doing errands that like their like personal assistant used to do, and she was having like the time of their life. Like Michael Jackson,
I was just gonna say
rented out. Yeah, didn't he rent out a whole?
He rented out a grocery store.
Yeah, and then he paid people to be actors that were shopping in the grocery store, so he could just experience what it was like.
That level of fame is rough. And when you're at the level of fame that you can't afford to fly private everywhere, but you're very famous, like every time you go to the airport, you're going to be mobbed for sure.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers to minor celebrities.
I walked by Steve-O at the airport, and some other kids were asking him for a photo. I decided not to bother him.
Nice guy.
Yeah. But yeah, he's that level of fame. Like most young people in America know who he is, but he's not rich enough to be flying private wherever he goes.
I saw Coolio at an airport one time. R.I.P. Coolio.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah. I just went up to him and I said, "Are you Coolio?" And he said, "Yeah." And then I walked away. That was it. I was like 11 years old.
Did you say that you were a fan?
No. I was nervous. So I was like, "Excuse me, are you Mr. Coolio?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Nice.
He was working at the ticket counter, like trying to get something changed on his flight or something. So he definitely did not want to be talking to a stranger like me. And so it was just like, okay, see you later. Confirm Coolio.
Who's the most famous person y'all have ever seen? Out like in public, like not you went to a basketball game and saw LeBron.
But do I count like interviewing for Part of My Take?
No.
Okay. Besides Part of My Take, most famous person.
Just out in the wild.
Oh, I have one. Jennifer Lawrence.
Where was that?
In the West Village. I walked past her apartment and she was walking out.
How do you know it was her apartment?
Because then I Googled the address and it popped up as Jennifer Lawrence's new $25 million townhouse.
Got it.
So I put that together.
It's a good answer.
Yeah.
I saw Tom Holland fairly recently.
What? Where?
I was riding a bike near Madison Square Park, and a guy walked in the crosswalk in front of me. I was stopping. I was like, that guy's famous. and I couldn't pinpoint who it was in 5 minutes. There was like, that was Tom Holland.
Holy fuck.
Oh,
fucking Spider-Man.
yeah. In China, I walked by Zuckerberg, and I was like, yo, that guy looked exactly like Mark Zuckerberg. I was walking with my older brother, and I was telling my brother, hey, we should go back and check to see if that was Zuck. And my brother was like, dude, I don't think that was actually Mark Zuckerberg in Shanghai, China. And if it was, like, I'm not trying to go bother him. And I was like, dude, I swear to God that was Zuck. And then when I got home, searched on Google, and Zuck and his wife were in Shanghai. And apparently they were surrounded by a lot of plainclothes security guards who have, like, if I went up and started to hound him for a while, one of those guys would have walked up and just been like, stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But it would have been fun to chop it up with Zuck for a little bit.
Yeah.
So you know what's the new security thing? That plainclothes people around famous people. So you'll notice in like a bunch of pictures, like if you look up like even Secret Service or Jeff Bezos, you'll see a guy whose right hand is up like this, and it's a fake hand. Because look at they're plain clothes, but they're wearing like a coat, and you'll see a fake hand. That's because they have machine guns that they're holding underneath their coats, and the fake hand is just to make it look like they don't have a gun, so that people don't get uncomfortable. I'll pull up so when
a machine gun sounds kind of dangerous, because like say if someone goes up and tries to attack Bezos in a crowded place, and you just open up with a machine gun.
Yeah, I don't know that like a fully automatic weapon is a good choice.
Dude, look at
You
this.
start spraying a crowd.
Jeff Bezos bodyguard's fake arm. You'll see a lot of them will have just like a fake hand. Yeah. And when like the Secret Service use them too. But like the most intense security, like people with fucking, it's like to defend against a drive-by shooting and assassination attempts. But it's when you see the pictures, it's very weird. It's like, what?
I'm looking at these pictures right now. One is just like, look, his hands are making different grips. That can't be the same person's two hands.
No, the ones that are like this and they're just holding it. I'll show you more. It's definitely a thing.
Who's the most famous person you've seen, Billy?
Like seen out and about?
Yeah, in public.
I've actually seen like randomly.
Yeah.
I saw not Cam. Mitch from Modern Family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ginger guy.
Yeah.
No,
He
Mitch is the bigger guy.
No, I saw
I think.
Cam.
No, Mitch is the ginger.
Mitch is the ginger.
Mitch is the ginger. Cam's the bigger guy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was running and jogging, and I was jogging, and he was jogging the other way, and I just like saw him, and I just pointed at him, and then just kept running.
That's cool.
What
That's
about
sweet.
That's a good point. I like that.
I was like, because I was like, I wasn't gonna stop running, but I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and then he was like,
You probably appreciate that.
yeah,
Just like the acknowledgement.
Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I did a spin class with Donald Glover over the summer.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that too. What about you?
I haven't really ran into too many famous people.
I have a really hard time believing that.
I really
I'm
like
friends
just
with all of them.
Draymond Green, saw him after the Floyd Mayweather fight. He was walking
no,
around.
seeing them in the wild is only what counts.
Well, I mean, he was
That
walking
is.
down the street in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but that's like you're at an event, like
Las
that's like-
Vegas doesn't count. It's
Yeah,
off limits.
okay.
No,
All
but
right,
like
besides
outside of an
Las
arena,
Vegas.
like seeing an athlete, like when they put an athlete on a jumbotron in like a sports game, that doesn't count as like seeing.
I was walking down the street next to Draymond Green.
We sat a section over from Aaron Judge the other night.
Yeah, but like that doesn't count.
Okay, in New Orleans at a blackjack table, Charlie Whitehurst came up and sat next to me.
That's fucking sick.
Who's that?
He was a backup quarterback for a lot of teams, the Titans. He's a legend. I don't really.
Oh no! Holy fuck! I saw David Beckham once.
Where?
When I was really younger. I was in Central Park at a playground, and this kid was kicking a soccer ball, and I was like, "Yo, can I play?" And I was kicking a soccer ball, and it was his son, and my mom was there, and she was like, the whole time it was happening, she was like, "Oh my god, like that's like," because my mom's like, "Who the hell is my little kid walking up to and playing with?" And I was like, "Oh my god, that's David Beckham." And then once someone realized who it was, everyone just like mobbed him.
Yeah.
And then he kind of left, kind of felt bad.
Yeah, you started that.
I didn't really start. I didn't even know who it was. I was just playing. I was kicking with this kid.
I just remembered Ed Sheeran.
Oh yeah.
I peed next to Ed Sheeran.
That counts.
He couldn't pee.
Are you guys the same height?
No, I'm taller than him. Good
Okay,
question.
yeah.
Good question.
That's
Donnie.
what I thought. That's what
Good
I thought.
question. I'm tall.
Yeah.
I towered over Ed.
Okay. Yeah.
I looked down at Ed, and he
All right.
couldn't pee. Yeah, a little scared. Yeah, tiny little scared ginger penis.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Dom. Have I ever told that story to you?
No, I don't think I've heard that.
Have you really haven't?
No.
Oh wow.
You checked out his you checked out his dick at the urinal.
So no, I didn't check out his dick.
It's kind of weird, bro.
There's a divider.
You peeked
2015.
over?
I'm at Sirius XM Radio recording an episode of a podcast that I was doing at the time called The Steam Room,
All right.
solo PFT. And I go to use the bathroom. Ed Sheeran happens to be in Sirius XM Radio doing a publicity tour. He comes in the bathroom. We're at urinals next to each other. We go in the bathroom at essentially the same time. He is to my right. I unzip my pants. I start pissing, like huge piss, like a fire hose. It's just like so much volume. I don't ever think that I've pissed that assertively before or since. And Ed's there, and he's just waiting, and he can't pee. He's squeezing. He's doing the thing where he spits into the urinal, trying to get some
I've
some
never tried
liquid
that.
going. A lot of guys spit into the urinal. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know why, but it happens very frequently.
Okay.
So I wrap up, and I'm like, well, I'm done pissing. Like, that was a good pee on my part. Put my hog away, go over to the sink, wash up. Ed's at the urinal, and he just zips up and walks away without even peeing. He was like, it's not going to happen. I got dominated. So, yeah, I don't know if I've told that story before.
I've been dominated before at the urinal. It's not a good feeling.
It's not. But it feels good to dominate Ed Sheeran.
Yes. It feels good to dominate someone at the urinal.
It does. He was really short. He was like 5'4". It's great. One of these days, I want a rematch against it. I want to give him the opportunity to have a rematch, to pee next to me.
He's definitely popped up on the list of people doing a press tour to interview.
We should get him. We should bring him back into the office, and I will go to the bathroom with him,
Film you guys.
and I'll give him a redemption shot.
Whoever can pee first.
No, I won't even pee. I want to give Ed the chance to make up for what he's done in the past.
What if you're like, I won't even pee? And like, I'll let you in, Ed, and then like you both are standing there, and you just start peeing, and you're just like, got you again.
Yeah,
He'd be traumatized.
yeah. Open invite to Ed to come pee next to me. Anyways, more cloning stuff, Billy. You got any more clone facts?
They thought Eminem got cloned, but he just went to rehab.
Okay.
That's
Classic
kind of a big
mix-up.
one.
Yeah.
They thought Gucci Mane got cloned, went to prison. A lot of people just change in healthy ways, and people are like, that's a clone.
They lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people think you can clone people like they did in that movie Duplicity. Is that what it was called?
Multiplicity.
Multiplicity, yeah. But it doesn't work like that.
It should.
That would be cool. Just to make that'd be...
I like the idea of doing what you were saying in China. What's the name of that?
Substitute criminal.
Substitute criminal. Yeah.
That is great. And
How much?
maybe
What's the
maybe
going
they
rate?
pay off the prison too, just to like look the other way. But yeah, what's the going rate? It sounds like this one person got a substitute criminal for like $30 a day, which that's not bad.
It's like TaskRabbit.
Maybe it was like a 30-day stint, like something quick.
Yeah.
That's only 11 grand a year.
How do they?
Wait, let's
Wait,
yeah.
what?
How would you ever get caught doing that?
Did
Ooh. Wait, let's see.
I've got a great business model.
How could you get caught? I mean, I assume the prison guards just kind of have to turn the other cheek and just have to be like, all right.
But if you get somebody that looks enough like you, how would they go about proving that it's not? Like if you don't have DNA on file.
I don't know about that. 11
Fingerprints.
grand a year to not go to prison is maybe the greatest deal in the history of deals.
Yes, it's great.
Well, yeah, it says a substitute criminal can be hired for as little as $31 per day. So that's the minimum. I'm sure some people charge more.
that's probably for like, what's the conversion? Like, what's the how far can $30 stretch you in China?
Let's say you get a good one, $100 a day, 36 grand a year to not go to prison. Still the greatest deal in the history of deals.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. 36 grand. Absolutely.
I mean, for you, that's nothing.
Right.
It's one paycheck.
Yeah, I would just Big T.
Half a paycheck.
Come on, Big T. Come on, man. 36 grand to now. You'd have to be in some bad financial straits to accept 36 grand to go to prison.
Yeah. I wonder if there are some homeless people that like would accept it, because in prison you get free healthcare, free food, a free bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it really depends on what prison you're going to, but I'm sure there are some prisons where homeless people will be like, yeah, there are homeless people that even purposely commit crimes so they can be put in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You see those random videos. And where it's very obvious the guy just like shatters a store window and he's just like waits around. He's like, sorry, I need to go to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. The free healthcare thing is wild because there are some criminals in prison for heinous crimes, and some people, some law-abiding citizens outside of jail can't afford the healthcare. But then this dude who committed a heinous crime like is getting it all taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fucked up. I don't know how you solve that, but.
Stop crime. Make crime
Stop
illegal.
crime, or do you just like, if the crime's really bad, do you just let the prisoner die?
Yeah.
Self-assisted suicide instead of like spending millions on their treatment. Harvey Weinstein died in prison?
No, he's still alive, I think.
He's still alive? Okay.
Somehow, I
I
think
remember he was in horrible health.
Didn't he get COVID too?
Yeah. I kind of thought.
I think
he was
everybody was
dead.
just crossing their fingers like, come on, COVID. Come on, COVID.
Yeah.
Old Harvey Dub. He still hasn't admitted anything, right? He still says that he's been set up.
Yeah, they haven't. It's just a lot of people talking about the shape of his cock.
Yeah, that's actually worse than prison.
I know.
Now America just knows that your cock's fucked up.
Yeah.
Didn't they say like the words that they used to
Oh, it was
describe
horrible.
it would sound like you were reading a Stephen King novel.
I know.
It was bad. It was like he's just got lumpy sores, misshapen.
No, I think they compared it to like a type of some type of food, but I don't know if we need to look up exactly what it. His penis looked like it had been chopped off and sewn back on.
Oh.
But the thing is, I feel like you have to be that screwed up to like do the amount of actions he did, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Not that it justifies it, but like, okay, that's why he's a monster.
He's got some mental stuff going on for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we got anything else we want to get into today?
Was Jennifer Lawrence getting with Harvey Weinstein?
I wouldn't say like getting with. I don't think that's
weren't
the
they
right. I don't think that's the
Molested
right-
by her once?
Weren't they cool? I think.
Well, look, I mean, Brad Pitt like one time tried to beat the shit out of him and kicked him out of a party. Was that because he molested? Oh no, that's not Jennifer Lawrence. That's
Angelina Jolie.
yeah, Jennifer Aniston.
Speaking of Jennifer,
She Jennifer Lawrence filed a lawsuit against him, so I think she's a victim of his.
okay, I'm trying to.
She knows there.
No,
she's-
okay, yeah, I got the story wrong. Very sorry. It was a rumor that went around that she denied, and then she filed a lawsuit.
Yes. So she said she knew him, but people were making rumors out.
Oh my god.
I would be interested on a future episode if someone listening to this has had their dog cloned. Call into the show because I want to know like if the dog ends up acting exactly like your old dog.
Yeah, I don't think that it would. I think it would just like it's a matter of how you raise. So obviously, there's some like behavioral stuff where some dogs are like more prone to anger or whatever. But for the most part, I feel like it's
how they're
nurture.
raised.
It's nurture over nature.
That's their soul.
Yeah.
But if you saw the movie 3 Identical Strangers, did you ever see that?
Yes.
Wild movie. 3 identical triplets were each adopted by different families. One was lower class, one middle, one one upper class. And this was done as a science experiment, which is super fucked up. But the crazy thing, when they all met later on, 2 of them met randomly at college. They ended up going to the same college, and then they found out they had a third. They started talking, and they all wrestled in high school. So they were all high school wrestlers. They all liked the same music. They all liked the same food, which makes you think, yeah, maybe it's not all nurture. Maybe you just naturally like some things.
Yeah.
We did that on Part My Take during the pandemic.
The Identical Strangers.
Yeah, didn't we review it?
I remember I watched it. I don't know if we reviewed it.
We reviewed it on the show. That was back when we were doing
movies on Fridays or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. The guy shows up to college and everyone's like, "Oh, what's up? Welcome back." He's like, "This is weird."
Yeah.
Because his brother had been super popular there like the semester before.
Yeah.
His twin brother, but he didn't know that he had a twin brother.
They were like, yeah, and
And
it's
then
crazy.
they-
The
yeah.
adoption agency conducted a study.
And apparently the results of the study are like locked for the next 30, 50 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why the parents can't like sue just to have that.
And they
revealed.
met their mother, who had the same.
Oh yeah, no. I think it found out that guy had been doing that experiment to like a lot of other groups of twins and triplets
Yeah.
too, but they like he had all the names of who he was doing it with locked up, and that couldn't be revealed until they had all died, so not for another 70, 80 years.
Yeah.
So that means there could be some other twins out there that just don't know they're twins.
And I think one of them was that one of the brothers, unfortunately, completed suicide, and the mother also did. The mother had bad, and that was like another scary part of the study, because then the other 2 twins were like, "What the fuck?" The other 2 triplets. Crazy.
Definitely recommend the doc though.
It's good. It's very good. All right. Well, we will see some of you guys tomorrow night at Sony Hall. And if you want to potentially see Nick Adams, he's not going to be in person, I don't think. And
Now
he'll
it's
probably
tonight
Zoom.
if you're listening.
It's tonight. It's tonight, Thursday. I don't know if Nick's actually going to show up, but he says that he's interested, so we'll get involved. We'll be in the Nick Adams business shortly.
And please go to the Part of My Take YouTube and watch the Superfan documentary in Kansas City. If it doesn't get over 100K views, I will actually fire myself.
Within how many days?
5 days.
Oh, okay.
5 days, 100.
I mean, you're already
All right.
supposed to have fired yourself.
The race is on.
Yeah, well, this time I'll actually do it.
For real this time.
He will not rehire himself.
I will not react.
All right. And then if Hunting for Mammoth Bones doesn't go over 100K in 4 days because it came out last night, I will also fire myself.
There
Yes,
we go.
both
So
videos.
It's a race to see who gets fired first.
All right.
Mammoth Bones, you actually, this is your assignment, is Macrodosians. You watch the Mammoth Bones documentary and then the Superfans video.
Yes.
All right. Love you guys.
Yep.